human.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Hi there, it's the John Kobylt Show. It's good that you're here. This is the Island of Sanity, where we gather every day to discuss all the insanity that's happening everywhere else. But here's the safe zone, all right? Your safe space. We're on from 3 to 6, and then after 6 o'clock, if you missed any of the show, you catch up on it with John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. And once again, we got the live stream going. So go to the John Kobylt Show on YouTube, and we're already there. So you can come and wave, and I'll wave back. The John Kobylt Show on YouTube. And if you had subscribed by now, you'd already know we're on, because when you subscribe, you get notifications. It says, hey, he's coming on. YouTube.com/@John Kobylt Show. YouTube.com/@John Kobylt Show. You sign up for that and you'll get notified. All right, we have a tremendous amount. I want to get right into the new poll that came out for the mayor's race in Los Angeles, Emerson College, along with Inside California Politics. Now, there are some issues with this poll, but what they say is, this is since the debate, Karen Bass is at 30, Spencer Pratt at 22, Nithya Raman at 19. And top two, of course, go on to November. Entrepreneur Adam Miller at 7, and the left-wing whack job, a housing advocate, Ray Wang, is at 4. 16% undecided. So Pratt's in a good spot, but it's tight over Raman. And that's where we get to the makeup of the polling. There is a guy quoted in here. His name's Paul Mitchell. The LA Times says he's the vice president of the bipartisan voter data company called Political Data. And he was not impressed with the accuracy of the poll. First of all, they only polled 350 people, and usually you poll 1,000 minimum. He said that a third of those surveyed were Latino, and actual turnout among Latinos is likely to be about 20%. He also said about 50% polled were over the age of 50, and normally 60% of the voters are over 50. You see, for all the hoopla over young people, they don't vote much. And they can carry on all day about Latinos being the largest percentage of the population, but they don't vote much comparatively. So he thought the poll was too young, too Latino, too few people. And that's important because Nithya Raman's strength apparently came from younger voters. So her strength came from younger voters who probably aren't going to vote in the percentages that are seen here in the polling. So her number may be a bit inflated. Now, Bass does have an edge with older people. According to this poll, 47% from people over 60. And if this is true or anywhere close to true, isn't this baffling? Because people over 60 are old enough to remember the way Los Angeles used to be. If you're over 60 and you're a lifelong resident, I am not going to use the word Angelito. I refuse to. But if you've been a lifelong resident of Los Angeles, or even if you came here in your 20s and you've been here for 40 years or more, you remember the good old days. I mean, the good old days were, 10, 15 years ago were the good old days. So why, I mean, you've seen the most degradation. I mean, I've only been here since the 90s, and I am absolutely overwhelmed with the degradation of Los Angeles. I can't imagine people who were here or grew up in the 70s and 80s. How you stick with Karen Bass? I don't think there's any other issue a normal person would vote on other than the quality of life being horrible. So I'm baffled by this. Absolutely flabbergasted that people who have been living in Los Angeles for 30 or 40 years or more, that there'd be a single person who'd say, you know, this current mayor, she's really hitting a home run these days, huh? So Bass leads with women, and I told you yesterday that many female voters, especially in California, are afflicted with suicidal empathy. And that's where you start empathizing and caring more for the perpetrators than the victims, because you start worrying about what these perpetrators went through as children, the abuse they suffered, the racism they suffered, the unfairness of it all, the abandonment, dad non-existent in their lives. And you internalize all the childhood grief of the perpetrators that you forget that, hey, that guy over there just smashed somebody over the head. And I'll hear mostly women say, you know, I feel so bad for the homeless. I don't hear guys saying that. Really, I don't. But women are going, I feel so bad for them. You know, they don't want to be like that. That's somebody's son. It's like, whew, okay. Most guys I know just would get the creep off the street already before he kills somebody. Men have to reassert themselves in the culture. Really. Men have to go back to more old-fashioned values of being the level-headed protector of a community, because men have largely abandoned that role, and they have been feminized and castrated to some extent. And now we have suicidal, empathetic women who are the primary voters. I mean, 65. I'm not talking about all women, obviously. I'm talking about this particular subset here, but there's enough of them. And believe me, they don't listen to this show. I feel free talking about them behind their back, because they're not coming near here, because this represents everything they can't stand. In fact, they don't, Pratt gets a plurality of men. But not all men. The plurality is 30%. It's still split up. Women, if you see that with their hatred of Trump, they don't like brash guys. They don't like guys who strut with a lot of confidence, tell people off, pop off, are blunt, are rude. They don't. And Pratt's not any of that, really. Trump, yeah. But Pratt, far less so. But that's a dramatic change in the culture, because younger people especially, have come through the school system where and I have 3 sons, so they've told me how men were treated, how men were described in the school system, and basically all the masculine traits were demonized as being evil and harmful to society. And some guys internalize that, and they walk around completely neutered and feminized. Some guys just shut up because you can't take on the establishment. So anyway, it's the goal is to get Pratt in the runoff, and he is, and Rahman is third by 3 points, and then maybe this Paul Mitchell is right, and it's just too skewed for Latinos and too skewed for younger people, and Pratt will do actually better in 3 weeks. Now, some of the votes already in, but because I've just been reading comments to the reaction to the initial story in the LA Times and Channel 5 about the poll. And there's so many people who are slamming their heads against the wall. They cannot believe anybody would vote for either Bass or Rahman. And again, this is not on ideological lines. This is not on party lines. This is about look around and see what a sewer LA's become. Obviously, we can't do this anymore. Obviously, this has got to stop. I mentioned this a few times already, but my wife saw a guy drop his pants and fire out excrement right in front of her and in front of my dog. The dog is still upset. And this can't be. It's not the first time it's happened to her. It's happened to her like 3-4 times. She's out walking, and homeless guy is taking a dump in front of her. Now, cannot live this way. Cannot. It's got to stop. Because I know a lot of people fleeing. They're at least fleeing for 6 months in a day, declaring their legal residence in another state. So they'll come around and they'll go see friends and go to their old favorite restaurants, but they're not spending 12 months a year in California anymore. And they're going to take their tax revenue with them, because you spend 6 months in a day in another state, then which doesn't have this, and nobody has this. This is the most disgusting city in the country. The most disgusting city in the country. So you could go virtually anywhere and not run into this. And that alone is a reason to vote for Pratt and not Bass. I don't want to hear about statistics. I don't want to hear about excuses. I don't want to hear about suicidal empathy, ideology, anything. This is not livable. If people are regularly taking dumps in the street, defecating in the street, that's it. That alone, a deal breaker. I'm like a one-issue voter. If you have a government that allows thousands of people to do that every day, and I see it, no, that's it. Out! I mean, that's it. And I don't understand people who want 4 more years of this. If you haven't been convinced that she's going to do nothing about it, I don't know what to tell you. I hate to insult you. Actually, I'd love to insult you. But I just really don't get it. Okay? They're whacked out on drugs. They're out of their minds with mental illness. They're dropping their pants, and they're defecating on the sidewalk right in front of you or your wife or your child or your dog. So you're going to vote for the woman who allows this to go on. All right. We got more coming up. Other big story today, Cloobeck, Steve Kubc, who we had on the show a few times when he was running for governor. Then he switched his allegiance to Eric Swalwell. And Swalwell had to leave the race. And at the same time, Cloobeck has a girlfriend who ended up getting arrested for stealing from her OnlyFans customers. Well, now Cloobeck has been arrested on a number of felonies. We'll get into this coming up. And in for Deborah Mark, it's Brigida D'Agostino live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here's the latest. Children's author Corey Richins has been sentenced to life in prison for poisoning her husband to death. Residents are concerned about rising anti-Asian sentiment after Arcadia's mayor was accused of acting as an unregistered foreign agent for China. And a federal lawsuit accuses the U.S. Agriculture Secretary of improperly mixing religion and government. We'll check the 91 freeway next.
Memorial Day is a time to honor great service. And at American Vision Windows, it's great service. That's what they're known for. This month, get 25% off all windows and doors. That's a significant savings. It's a real upgrade. New windows means more comfort, stunning appeal, utility savings all year long on your air conditioning and heating. This is a genuine glow up for your home inside and out, and your neighbors are going to notice. Your family's going to feel it. They've installed over 1 million windows for California homeowners. Most jobs are done in a day. There's less disruption that way. And you'll have new windows by evening. Your chance to save 25% on all windows and doors ends May 31st. So you got to take action now. New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Call or see the website for details. Visit AmericanVisionWindows.com, AmericanVisionWindows.com, or call them at 888-771-2188. 888-771-2188.
Southland weather from KFI brought to you by Mattress Firm. Today, cloudy with highs in the 60s to 70s. We're going to a crash on the 91 in Long Beach.
On the eastbound side, coming up at Paramount, that's where a truck is blocking the right lane, and those eastbound delays for the 91. Pretty slow moving overall out of Carson, getting away from Avalon. Now, beyond the scene of this crash, you still have some slow traffic ahead, leaving Beach Boulevard on and off the brakes ahead to Green River in Corona. Also in Corona, the 15 southbound slowing from the 91 freeway as you continue ahead towards Temescal Canyon Road. And let's head out to the 15 in Ontario. It's pretty heavy in both directions between the 60 and the 10. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Ready to upgrade to the perfect sleep setup? Let Mattress Firm sleep experts guide you to the perfect bed at the Memorial Day sale. Top brands, ideal comfort, score unbeatable deals on both. Mattress Firm. They make sleep easy.
This report is sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Voters are listening to the radio, and they're really listening. If you're running for office, radio gets your message heard, not scrolled past. Reach communities everywhere and be on the air in just 48 hours. Go to winwithiheart.com. That's winwithiheart.com.
This week at Vons or Albertsons, get pork shoulder butt roast bone-in for $169 per pound with membership where applicable. And Butterball 85% lean ground turkey, 16 ounces is $4.99. Shop in-store or online today at vonsoralbertsons.com.
Think back. All those times you questioned everything and wondered why you didn't trust yourself. What if those thoughts could be eliminated? Truth is, those thoughts come from a hidden part of your mind. At a Dianetics seminar, you'll learn and apply powerful techniques to address the hidden source of your stress, anxiety, and self-doubt. It's hands-on, and you'll put the tools to work immediately. In just one weekend, you'll discover exactly how the mind works and increase your happiness and restore trust in yourself. A single weekend can change everything. Register today and take charge of your mental health. Go to Dianetics.org/seminar. That's Dianetics.org/seminar.
Tim Conway Jr. How much walking a day? Do you do it you measure it in distance or in time?
I prefer time. Distance is highly variable depending on your capability.
Tomorrow afternoon at 4 on KFI AM 640.
30 minutes, 4 days a week.
But when you say that to radio people, they want to hang up on you.
I don't know what to tell you. You asked the question. What do you want out of me?
More stimulating talk.
Hello, I'm Robert Smigel. I did lots of things. Cartoons on SNL, Conan stuff, Triumph the Insult comic dogs, some movies. But now I'm past my peak. So I'm hosting a podcast, Humor Me with Robert Smigel and Friends. Each week, me and my favorite comedians, writers, and whatnots help regular people just like you, presuming you're regular, who have some project or task that they'd like us to help make funnier.
Search Humor Me on iHeartRadio, America's #1 podcast network, and the Webby Podcast Company of the Year.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk. Hey, it's Conway Show. Today after 6 p.m., we have our first emergency when it comes to the World Cup. We'll tell you what's going on with local hotels today after 6 on the Conway Show.
$1,000 giveaway.
Now is your opportunity to win $1,000. Yes! Just enter the nationwide keyword on our website, COIN. That's COIN, COIN. Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash. Brought to you by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. Office in Los Angeles, California, and sweetjames.com.
Coin, that's the word. Enter it at KFIAM640.com/cash. If you win, you get an email. Check your junk or spam folder too. And the winning keyword changes every hour, every weekday. Starts at 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the next round to win with me is at 4:20 here on KFI. And we'll get to the Steven Kubc soap opera coming up in just minutes. But I was talking about the new poll out, which has Bass winning 30% of the votes, Spencer Pratt 22, and Nithya Raman 19. Bass is up 5 points. Pratt's up 10. Raman is up about 10 as well. And I said that I am completely flummoxed why you would vote for Karen Bass when we have thousands of people who defecate every day on the street, and she's not bothered by it. And then today, to go to the other end of the body, Karen Bass was speaking somewhere, and she was starting to talk about homeless people and their teeth. Okay, take a deep breath and listen to this.
How many people who are unhoused that you meet have no teeth at all? They don't have teeth. Why? Because meth rots your teeth. You can't succeed without teeth. So there needs to be comprehensive health care provided to people.
Did you get that? Well, first of all, the lesson. You can't succeed without teeth.
You can't succeed without teeth.
Now, coming from the queen of the fake smile, I think much of her political success is because of that strange, fixed, frozen smile that she carries around all the time. The most insincere smile, and it's always there. And I guess it hypnotizes or mesmerizes people. So I'll take her as an expert on what kind of teeth you need in order to have success in life.
You can't succeed without teeth.
But now let's go a level deeper to the policy here. People who are unhoused, they have no teeth at all. They don't have teeth, she repeats. Did not mention why they don't have teeth or why they don't have a house. It's because they're snorting meth. Or as Spencer Pratt put it during the debate, super meth, which is a real thing. Get to that later on. Super meth is real. Meth is real. They're snorting it all day. Meth makes your teeth fall out. So she doesn't address that they're snorting meth. In fact, the city has been paying for meth pipes and for syringes, so you can inject fentanyl too. The meth makes you all frantic and crazy, and the fentanyl brings you down and puts you in a coma. And Karen Bass works both ends of that deal. She has tax money available, and of course, it's passed through these satanic nonprofits who buy the meth pipes and they buy the syringes and then they give it out. So the teeth are gone. And what's her conclusion here? Not that we have to put the homeless into mental health treatment and into drug treatment, right? Her conclusion is we have to have comprehensive health care. Like, some kind of government-run healthcare system where everybody's guaranteed health care. So when you go to work and I go to work, at the end of the week, we get taxed, and the no-tooth meth addict, he gets some of our money for comprehensive medical care. That's what she thinks the solution is. That's what she wants the solution to be. So we're supposed to give them teeth. Well, we give them the meth pipe, so they lose the teeth, and now we're supposed to give them new teeth. I guess when you put in new teeth, if you keep doing the meth, do they fall out too? I don't know how that works. What about a simple set of dentures? Does that rot the dentures? Play this whole clip again. Well, all right, wait, before you play it. When I saw it, I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw it. And because I've seen all these incredible, realistic AI videos, some that Spencer Pratt put out, I looked at this and I said, oh, this has got to be one of these AI videos. This can't be She can't actually be saying this out loud into a microphone in front of people. So I went and checked all over the place. I was like, holy crap. This is real. She actually said this. She means this. Play it again.
How many people who are unhoused that you meet have no teeth at all? They don't have teeth. Why? Because meth rots your teeth. You can't succeed without teeth. So there needs to be comprehensive health care provided to people.
So they don't succeed because you don't pay the tax money for comprehensive health care so they can buy new teeth, so they can have new teeth installed. That's why they don't succeed. That's why they're homeless. This she actually believes. She runs the government that way. Holy moly. That is a real person who said that, and she's still leading in the polls. Again, what do you do with people who will vote for a woman who says that? The reason somebody doesn't have a home and is not successful is because we didn't pay for the new set of teeth that rotted out from their meth habit. I'll do the Cloobeck stuff next. In for Deborah Mark, we got Brigida D'Agostino live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here's the latest. Paris Jackson wins a legal battle over Michael Jackson's estate in L.A. Alex Murdaugh is getting a new murder trial after South Carolina's Supreme Court overturned his convictions. And Huntington Beach leaders are under fire after money meant for after-school programs was redirected to fishing trips for veterans. We're going to some slowing on the 101 in Calabasas. Angel, are you there?
Split. I am. 134 split. And then in Hollywood from Melrose as you roll into downtown Los Angeles. That northbound side of the 101, that is also loading up out of Hollywood from Santa Monica Boulevard and stretches all the way to White Oak in Encino. And it's tough in the Tustin area. This is the 55 northbound. Coming up on the 5 freeway, the left lane's blocked due to a crash. Overall slowing away from the 405. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
If you've seen termites, wings, or droppings, it's time to call Pacific Coast Termite for a free written inspection. And with Pacific Coast Termite, they use orange oil and Ultraset for treatment. There's no tenting, no move out, and no pumping your home with poisonous gas. You, the kids, and pets can even stay home while they work. Call now for a 10% discount on termite services and a free 2-year warranty. Plus, get 90-day same-as-cash financing on approved credit. Call 800-PACIFIC. Some restrictions apply.
Wait! Before you change the station, listen to this.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KRS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
In this edition of the Marketer's Report, Monica Tam, head of brand media for DoorDash, discusses the power of audio influencers.
Everyone can advertise and say the same thing. I think it holds different weight when it comes from somebody that you inherently trust and listen to every day. And I think when you're tapping into voices like hosts and podcasters, you're being able to be part of that community, but in a very authentic way so that it does not come off as like I'm trying to preach to you what to buy, but actually it being from a position of here is how DoorDash can provide relief, or here's how we can be additive to your day-to-day.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to all the audiences, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow, and all guaranteed human. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
If you're looking to sell your home, you call Seller's Advantage. They're going to make a cash offer. They'll buy the house as is for cash. No need for repairs. They'll close in days. They might offer a $10,000 advance, too, to help you move. Go read the reviews online and call for a no-obligation offer. 888-321-AS-IS. 888-321-AS-IS. 888-321-2747, sellersadvantage.com.
Seller's Advantage will buy your home, make it easy so that you don't have to worry. Sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 01961658. Providence Realty DRE 01915212.
After a major accident, one question comes to mind. What happens next? That's where Wilshire Law Firm comes in. With over 100 attorneys, we've helped recover more than $2 billion for our clients. Let the firm that's been recognized as #1 in personal injury settlements fight for the compensation you deserve. That's what happens next. For a free consultation 24/7, call Wilshire Law Firm, 1-800-ABCDEFG. Wilshire Law Firm won more top 100 personal injury settlements in 2024 than any other law firm in California, as reported by TopVerdict.com. Wilshire Law Firm is in LA.
Call 844-GO-SMILE to learn about the new Lifestyle Smile dental implants from Lasting Smiles.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST Medical.
This is Jacob Emrani. When you need help after an accident, I'm here for you.
1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
Gold and silver recently soared to record highs, then pulled back, and they're high again. So are metals still a good buy? Well, many Wall Street experts predict higher prices ahead. And why is that? Trillions of dollars in national debt, a declining dollar, and inflation that keeps shrinking our savings. Gold remains a historical hedge for wealth protection. Call Lear Capital for a free gold kit. Call 800-225-8100, 800-225-8100. Lear Capital, 800-225-8100.
GimmeTheVin.com has made it fast. We've made it easy, and we're the only 5-star BBB rated car bar out there.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640. Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, here on the John Kobylt Show, where you can follow us at John Kobylt Radio, on social media at John Kobylt Radio. Or we're live on YouTube right now, so head to YouTube, watch us live, and there's live chat going on too, so you could argue with all those people. Thank you for watching, listening, writing. If you want to get notification, you got to subscribe. To subscribe, go to youtube.com/at John Kobylt Show. On to... I'm still blown away by Karen Bass's lecture on how you need teeth to succeed. But moving on, Steven Kubc, probably a little over a year ago, first came on our show. He was running for governor. He definitely was an interesting guy. He was worth $2 billion after selling a timeshare company in Nevada. He had some government connections. He actually worked in some way in the Obama administration. In fact, I saw a photo today in one of the news sites of him standing with Obama at a podium. And then he decided he wanted to run for governor here in California. And we had him on the show. And he was very blunt and gruff and got nowhere in the polls at all, running as a Democrat. Next thing you know, he hit the news because he was endorsing Eric Swalwell. In fact, Swalwell was living in his house some of the time. And then he hit the news because Cloobeck has a girlfriend who has at least 4 names. Adva Lavi, I believe is her real name, also known as Shoshana, Shana, and Mia Ventura. And the reason she may have all those names is there are a number of people who accused her of stealing stuff from their apartments. It's got some women who said she stole handbags from them or wallets from them as well. The guys are older guys that she met on OnlyFans. They were her customers. She was their entertainment of one sort or another. Dinner, probably, they went out to. So the guy said, well, you know, she befriended us, and then she ended up stealing stuff from our homes. Well, there was enough evidence that the LA County District Attorney filed charges, felony charges against Adva. Now, we had Steven Kubc on to talk about the Swalwell situation. He threw Swalwell out of the house, and to say that everybody who's accusing his girlfriend, fiance, Adva, of stealing stuff, they're all lying. Well, now Klubec's been arrested. He turned himself in at the LA County Sheriff's Office in West Hollywood, and the story is that he's been charged with a number of felonies for trying to prevent a victim or a witness from testifying or attending a trial. Also, annoying telephone calls. There may have been telephone calls and text messages to some of the guys who are saying Klubec's girlfriend stole stuff from them. There is a charging document. Klubec tried to prevent Michael Crane from testifying at trial, threatened him with force, and an express and implied threat of force and violence. Another LAFD victim is Scott Thurman. He's also supposedly got threatened by Klubec. And then Michael Farag, a third LAFD customer. He says Klubec tried to convince him not to testify. And then a fourth person, Lou Shapiro, an attorney, says he was threatened. Klubec threatened to injure him. So you've got four people, three customers, an attorney, Michael Crane, Scott Thuman, Mike Farag, and Lou Shapiro, who said, now when you interfere with, when you are accused of interfering with witnesses or trying to prevent them from testifying or prevent them from attending a trial, those are serious felonies. If he was convicted, Klubec faces up to 11 years and 6 months in prison. So this is a big deal. So Klubec is now been charged with felonies. The girl has been charged with felonies. Swalwell is the only one who hasn't been charged yet. Although he may have done the worst crimes of all. But they've got to get the proof that stands up in court with all these rape accusations. And Klubec's paid put up whatever he had to put up with for the $300,000 bond. And he has told the California Post that he still wants to marry Adva, saying the marriage is on. The date is now a secret. Lava is wearing an ankle monitor. And she has been a penthouse pet and a model. And some business people are writing letters to the court asking that her ankle monitor be removed. One of the letters is from Mayoral Parker, the founder of the Ganja Collection. I guess that's a clothing line? Because Parker says LAFD is an indispensable asset to our brand. Her image is inextricably linked to our corporate identity. She's supposed to be in an upcoming ad campaign and is asking the judge to remove the ankle monitor to mitigate the irreparable damage being done to her career. I guess she can't pose and model clothing with an ankle monitor. Although I bet you that becomes a fashion accessory, right? Can't you see that?
I can see Deborah with an ankle monitor.
Deborah Mark?
Yeah.
Probably should have one. For other reasons. Yeah, I can see her. You know what? The thing is, if something ridiculous becomes a trend, women will wear it. If ankle monitors are cool or in style, all you need is one model on the cover of a magazine or in a major ad campaign, and you'll see they'll have ankle monitors in designer colors, and they'll be studded with jewels and rhinestones. And here's another letter from Brian Lucy, a music mastering engineer on 11 Grammy winners. And Brian wrote a letter to the court saying, I would not be able to hire her for any future music videos planned on the schedule. Oh, please, in the music industry? I mean, how many rap stars have killed people? That doesn't stop them from putting out records and videos. So they arrested Cloobeck. He turned himself in Tuesday at 11 a.m. yesterday. And then by 1/17, he was released on $300,000 bond. So he's free. Swalwell's free. And Advalavi is free right now. But there's a lot of trials coming up, or a lot of plea bargaining. It's going to be going on. All right, we'll come back. Are we going to try a few comments when we come back? All right, one of the features on the with the YouTube that we're going to try to incorporate on the radio is we'll take your comments live, and I'll respond to them. So do whatever you have to do to, and Eric will screen the comments and forward them to me, and we'll just do a little rapid-fire quick response to whatever you have to say on all this stuff when we come back. And among other things, we've got Deborah Marcus off today, and I think she's in custody somewhere.
Any natural disasters anywhere yet?
I'm checking. I'm monitoring. Virginia D'Agostino, who is not under arrest, is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here's the latest. A Utah mom who wrote a children's book about grief after her husband's death is headed to prison for life after being convicted of killing him for insurance money. Senate Republicans are drafting $1 billion security funding bill that includes President Trump's White House ballroom, and the Senate has confirmed President Trump's nominee to lead the Federal Reserve. We'll check the 55 freeway next.
If you're hurt in a car accident or a motorcycle crash, a trucking collision, even a dog bite, what comes after is usually the same. Pain you didn't expect, appointments you didn't plan for, and insurance companies that say they're there to help, but they're really focused on protecting themselves. And that's why I tell listeners, Sweet James. They help people when the injuries are real, stress is high, and the insurance company already has a plan, and you don't. If you've been hurt in an accident, don't face it alone. Let the attorneys at Sweet James be by your side and help you recover. Call for a free consultation at 800-9-million, 800-9-million, 800-9-000-000, sweetjames.com. With offices throughout California, including Los Angeles, they can't guarantee or predict the outcome of your case, but it's important to have Sweet James by your side. That number again, free consultation, 1-800-9-million, 1-800-9-000-000, sweetjames.com.
Let's go to a crash on the 55 in Tustin.
On the northbound side, just before the 5 freeway at last check, it was the 2 left lanes that were blocked with delays that are backing up away from just before the 405. Let's also take a look out in Redlands. Metal chunks of something along the 10 eastbound at Orange Street, mostly in the left lane, serving up a slow drive off of the 215. And let's look at Pasadena. This is the eastbound side of the 210. Things are getting busy from About Mountain on and off the brakes all the way to Citrus. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by iHeartAdvertising.com.
The Rams are officially headed to Australia. They'll face the 49ers as part of the NFL International Series slate that was unveiled today. And they'll host the Packers in the first ever Thanksgiving Eve game. The Dodgers have lost 4 straight. They take on the Giants again. Shohei Ohtani on the hill. Zach Neto had a 2-run homer, but no other scoring for the Angels. They were beaten 4-2 by the Guardians. I'm Frank Aaron.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
This report is sponsored by CummonsRecall.com.
Recall 67A mobile appointments are now available in your area. We come to you, quick, easy, and under an hour. Complete the recall to get $500, plus a warranty worth thousands. Schedule today at CummonsRecall.com.
Are you retired or close to retirement? Last year, the S&P was up about 16%. Gold, 65%. Silver, almost 150%. Get a free information kit on adding gold or silver to an IRA or 401k, tax and penalty free. GoldenCrestMetals.com. 833-362-3843.
Having car problems that won't go away? If your vehicle's been in the shop 2 or more times for the same issue, you may qualify for a refund, replacement, or cash compensation. You pay nothing, the manufacturer covers the fees. Go to refundyourlemon.com. It takes just 2 minutes. That's refundyourlemon.com.
Hey there, campers! It's Jan from Toyota. Time to pack your bags and buckle your seatbelts, because this summer, we're headed to Camp Toyota. And the fun starts now! We're kicking things off by kicking up mud. Jump in, campers. We're going off-roading in a powerful new 4Runner. Next, we're taking the RAV4 to go fly fishing. Then we're heading to the hot springs in a spacious Sequoia.
Jan, what is that smell?
Sulfur stinks. Now we're hitting the hiking trails in a rugged Grand Highlander. And finally, park your Tundras and Tacomas around the campfire because we're roasting marshmallows. Don't worry if you burn a few, folks. I brought a truckload. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 1st. Toyota. Let's go places.
How would you like to finally lose all those unwanted pounds quickly without spending thousands on painful injections or prescriptions? Hi, it's Donna Simpson, health and wellness expert. You probably know someone that is using Ozempic, the hottest diet craze in the country. Everyone knows about this prescription injection. Celebs use it to look their best. The problem is most of us can't afford Ozempic, and these injections can be so uncomfortable. Now you can lose the weight just as easily, but with no needles, no expensive prices, no side effects, and no worries. You need to try Lozempic, a new miracle weight loss breakthrough that performs so well it's been called nature's Ozempic. Lozempic is an easy-to-take diet pill now available without a prescription, being used by thousands to get rid of those unwanted pounds. So call now and find out how to get a free bottle.
Find out how to get your free bottle of Lozempic. Call 800-605-5724, 800-605-5724. Free bottles are limited, so call 800-605-5724. That's 800-605-5724.
Gold and silver recently hit record highs, then pulled back. So are metals still a good buy? Many experts say yes. Gold remains a long-standing hedge for wealth protection. Call Lear Capital at 800-225-8100 for a free gold kit, 800-225-8100.
Gary and Shannon.
I'm surprised that people want to get rid of the gas tax. What are we going to do about the roads?
How the F does Kansas fix their roads? They don't have the gas tax. Oh, they just use the tax dollars that we already give them.
Tomorrow, 9 to noon on KFI AM 640.
The fact that people take that argument and they put a spoon in it and they effing eat it.
More stimulating talk.
No, it doesn't make any sense, Gary. And I may say a bad word.
That red talkback mic on the free iHeart app, it's more powerful than it looks. One tap can get you in the conversation.
You guys, are you serious?
Enter to win something amazing.
That $1,000
or just a request. Try it now. Just open the free iHeart Radio app.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show.
We have 3 ways for you to appear smarter than you are, and one of them might not be to listen.
Yeah, we're going to need a lot more ways around here. Show starts tomorrow at 9.
KFI AM 640 or stimulating talk radio 877-MOIST-86. The Moist line for Friday. It's already Wednesday. 877-MOIST-86 or use the talkback feature on the iHeart Radio app. All right, we're live on YouTube. Go to the John Kobylt Show on YouTube and you will see. And also there's a live chat, and we're also taking your live comments directly to me, and I'll read them on the air and react to them. All right, so we'll start. Now, we're just trying this out for the second time, so I apologize to everybody if it sounds clunky. Richard Becerra, best show in L.A. Well, that's really nice. A good start there. Let's see. S. Straight. Thanks for the safe space, John. Now let loose the dogs of political war. Oh, yeah, at the start of the show, I emphasized that obviously everything's insane out there, but this is your safe space where you can be comfortable. I was at Porto's in Glendale. I didn't see a single homeless person, and the streets were pristine. Yes, Glendale doesn't have this. Neither does Burbank. Right outside my window here, that's the city of Burbank. There's no homeless people in the street. I remember one guy some years ago. If I went to the other side of the building and looked out the far window, there was one guy we saw encamped. And everybody was crowding around the window because they'd never seen one before in Burbank. And a half hour later, the guy was gone. I think we talked about it on the air. And Burbank police came and scooped him up, and he's gone. Where else don't you see them? Oh, most of Orange County? You don't see them. Most of Ventura County? You don't see them. Beverly Hills? You don't see them. There is no reason to have them. You could probably drive through to add on to what Shannon said in that promo, you could drive through the state of Kansas and probably not find one of them. I've told you in Florida. Just was in Sarasota 2 weeks. Maybe I saw 2 questionable guys wandering around in the whole city over 2 weeks. What's on the other side of the window shade? This is Randy Watson. Well, if you can see the buildings behind me, that's the old NBC complex from years ago, where they used to do the Tonight Show with Jay Leno and Johnny Carson before that, and all the other variety shows and sitcoms. A lot of game shows, they're all shot there. Now it's still television sound stages, but various media companies rent out the space. Our iHeart Theaters over there too. Let's see. Daniel McGinnis, my family's been in LA since 1848. Oh, these people are old. Whew. My God. He's got a family. People are 180 years old. How much Medicare have you sucked up? Just before we became a state, they came. And if Basura wins, I'm out. Yeah, I don't. I could go on about. I'm actually getting kind of depressed because we found out like another set of friends of ours just told my wife that they're leaving and they're going to Florida for at least 6 months. And another set of friends have moved to Florida also as well for 6 months. Like our whole social life is shrinking because these people are successful. Some of them can do their work anywhere, and they don't want to deal with it anymore. But this revenue is leaving this is tax revenue leaving the state. It is not hype. People with means and middle class people are doing this too, because you can go. The LA Times written stories all the time. People that move to Texas or Nevada, Arizona, Tennessee, North Carolina, Florida. They're in shock how big a house they can have and how much land they could have on a middle class salary, a fraction of what's LA costs. So it's not just the wealthy; it's the middle class. All that's going to be left are illegal aliens, homeless people, and criminals. All right, this is 5150 Rockstar. Gavin's little choo-choo train could have paid for everyone's health care. My God, can you imagine? We've spent $17 billion. What that could have gone for, and it's supposed to cost $231 billion. That's why I want to hear about this. Oh, we have to have the gas tax because otherwise, how are we going to fix the roads? The gas tax is going to high-speed rail. That's how you fix the roads. You stop funding that, but it's all theft. It's all a criminal operation. I got to get this. I got to get people to understand this. This is not just incompetence. There's a lot of incompetence, right? There's a lot of stupidity, but overwhelmingly, it's about theft. It's about corruption. They're stealing the money because they can. I don't know. Maybe if you were where they were, you'd steal it too. One party rule. There's no investigations done because you're in charge of the investigations, right? The Attorney General, Rob Bonta, he does the investigations. He's not investigating anything when it comes to high-speed rail. And finally, we have Mr. Gearley. Okay. Watching and listening from the Big Island in Hawaii. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And I don't think they've, when I've been to Hawaii a couple of times, I haven't seen anybody lined in the streets there either. When we come back, boy, and is this not the epitome of everything we've talked about this hour? The LA firefighters. This is actually sad. They got 226,000 signatures to put a tax on the ballot so that they could have money for the fire department. Because Karen Bass, even after the big fire, still keeps cutting the fire department. She still does. Tell you all about it. We come back. In for Deborah Mark, it is Brigida D'Agostino live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Deadly Deception. I'm Brigida D'Agostino live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A Utah mom who wrote a children's book about grief after her husband's death has been sentenced to life in prison for murdering him. ABC's Melissa Addon says prosecutors argued Corey Richins killed her husband to collect life insurance money.
During her letter that she was reading out loud to the court, which she dedicated to her sons, she mentioned to them that she too knows what it feels like to live without a father, as her dad died when she was young.
Richins gave her husband a fentanyl-laced cocktail. President Trump is due to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping tomorrow. Trump said he does not expect Iran to come up in discussions, but the war and its economic impacts hang over the summit. Former U.S. diplomat Brett Bruin says Trump will likely try to claim a win by getting China to buy more American soybeans, but other breakthroughs are unlikely.
He did this routine last time, and China didn't actually end up fulfilling those agricultural orders.
China is one of the world's biggest buyers of Iranian oil, and intelligence reports suggest Chinese companies are supplying Iran with some military hardware. Online weather wizards are warning about a super El Nino, but officials say that's not a thing.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says ocean temperatures on the West Coast have gone up 3 to 7 degrees in recent months, creating a 61% chance of an El Nino coming this winter. Internet prognosticators have declared a super El Nino is coming with bigger, more frequent storms and compare the system to Godzilla. The NOAA and National Weather Service say they don't use the term super El Nino, and they're not concerned right now because El Ninos are very hard to predict. An update's expected this week on how an El Nino is possible, super or not. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
Senate Republicans are drafting a bill that would provide $1 billion for new security projects, including President Trump's planned White House ballroom. The Department of Homeland Security says the money would go towards Secret Service operations. House Speaker Mike Johnson says the spending is justified.
Obviously, we have to think differently about security. We live in a very dangerous time, and there are new and increasing threats that we have never faced before.
President Trump previously said his estimated $400 million ballroom project would be paid for with private funding. The Senate has confirmed President Trump's pick to lead the Federal Reserve. Kevin Warsh will replace Jerome Powell as at a difficult time for the Fed. Inflation remains above the central bank's 2% target. SpaceX is preparing to launch an upgraded version of Starship. The next test flight from Starbase Texas is scheduled for May 19th. ABC's Michelle Franzen says the launch will test upgrades to the world's most powerful reusable rocket.
Engineers have taken lessons from nearly a dozen earlier flights. The flight's success could be key to NASA's ongoing plan to return astronauts to the moon's surface and create a permanent moon base.
The new rocket builds upon NASA's successful Artemis II lunar mission and flyby test flight. We'll check the 5 freeway next.
All right, Lasting Smiles dental implants. We had a huge response to their April Smile special, so I got them to extend it into May, but they're only offering a limited number of spots at these prices. If you've been dealing with disgusting, ugly, missing teeth, and you're waiting for the right deal, well, this is it. You're not going to get a better one than this from Lasting Smiles. Free comprehensive dental exam, 3D imaging, a custom treatment plan, payments as low as $149 a month on approved credit. Limited, first come, first serve. Call in, lock in your spot, mention KFI or John, you get this deal. LastingSmiles.com. Call 844-GO-SMILE, 844-GO-SMILE, 844-GO-SMILE.
Southland weather from KFI this afternoon, mostly cloudy with highs in the 60s to 70s. Tonight, cloudy and foggy with lows in the 50s. It's 74 degrees in La Palma and Orange, 70 degrees in Studio City, 68 in Santa Monica. The KFI financial report, the Dow lost 67, S&P 500 gained 43, and NASDAQ gained 314. We're going to a crash on the 5 in Sun Valley.
This one's on the northbound side of Sheldon. The 2 left lanes have been blocked. Make that the carpool and the left lane. Thanks, Dwayne. Pound 250 keyword KFI traffic and slow traffic served up out of Burbank from almost Burbank Boulevard at this point. Out to Inglewood, a brush fire's been reported along the 405. This is on the northbound side before Manchester. Right lanes affected and delays. It's pushing back from about the 105. Tustin, this earlier wreck on the 55 northbound before the 5, still plugging up that left lane, slowing you down from the 405. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
The next 3 years, LA will welcome the world with major events unmatched by any destination. This moment is bigger than sports. It's about the impact on our communities, businesses, and people. With the help of the Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Commission foundational partners, Amgen, Archer Aviation, Kaiser Permanente, LA Tourism, and Metro, we're investing in the LA community and inspiring civic pride. Together, let's show the world why we love LA. To learn more about the FIFA World Cup coming this June, visit LosAngelesFWC26.com.
Termites are one of those things we tend to put off. E. coli is here to protect your most expensive investment, your home, your family, and the environment. You might have heard of Sue Fries, the termite lady. She's the owner of E. coli Termite and Pest Control. Now, they've been protecting Southern California homes for more than 40 years. So if you have a termite problem, that's who you want in your corner. E. coli offers eco-friendly treatments that are tough on termites, but gentle on kids, pets, and anyone who's sensitive to chemicals. And if you're not planning on selling your house, they'll come out and inspect your home for free. And with all the heat we've had over this last month here in Southern California, it's perfect breeding grounds for termites. E. coli has been recognized as one of the top pest control companies in North America by Pest Control Technology magazine. So if you suspect a termite problem, you must act fast. So call E. coli at 1-800-332-BUGS. 1-800-332-2847. 1-800-332-BUGS.
My friends, the yard care industry sold us toxic chemicals and called it green. It's time for Sunday. No harsh chemicals, just real ingredients so your yard can thrive. Get your custom Sunday yard plan for spring at getsunday.com.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
KFI AM 640. An IR radio station. Guaranteed human.
John Kobylt Show. Welcome. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We are on from 3 to 6 every day. This is hour 2. And coming up after 6 o'clock, if you missed anything, John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. We also are on YouTube again for the whole show. We're on from now until 6 o'clock. You can come and watch us on YouTube, and there's a live chat going on. And it'll be recorded and posted in its entirety at the end of the show. And we're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So to subscribe and you get notifications, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. Believe it or not, there's more Steven Kubc news coming because the New York Post is talking to more customers of Cloobeck's girlfriend. Apparently, these customers claim that Cloobeck was a tad aggressive in trying to defend her honor because she's up on charges of stealing stuff, felony charges from these guys, OnlyFans. And now Cloobeck's up on charges of interfering with witnesses, trying to intimidate them, prevent them from testifying or attending the trial. Give you the latest on that coming up later in the hour. We have yesterday, I believe, I went through all the different sales taxes that had passed over the last 10 years in LA County. And I want to just grab people by the neck and beg them to stop voting for sales tax increases because it's just all going for nonsense. Well, we have another one. And this isn't nonsense, but this shouldn't have to happen. And makes it really, really frustrating. The firefighters of Los Angeles, the guys who've been starved out of money and equipment and water during the fire, they've had their budget cut repeatedly, especially by Karen Bass in recent years. That they now, after the fire, they've gathered 226,000 signatures to put a sales tax vote on the ballot. The money going to the firefighters. Because we've dumped all our money into this is like the stupidest of it all. And nobody's doing this. Nobody else is doing this. We take tax money. We don't give it to the fire department. We give it to all the thieves who run the homeless nonprofit agencies. The homeless get little of the money, and whatever they do get doesn't change their situation. They're still insane. They're still drug addicts. They're still living on the streets, threatening us. And they start fires. They start like 14,000 fires a year. So the LA firefighters spend much of their day chasing down bum fires, the stuff the vagrants start. Funny, none of that is counted as arson. None of that makes the crime statistics. So actually, crime is down in Los Angeles. Not if you have 13,000 fires started every year. Those are 13,000 arson fires. Anyway, the firefighters are sick of it. So they got 226,000 signatures. And they want the sales tax raised. According to the California Post, Jamie Page, who we've had on the show many times, fire department officials have warned Bass for months. They are desperately overstretched. Massive cash shortfall. Some of the staff are going unpaid. Can you believe a year after the fire, Karen Bass isn't paying the firefighters? They are pulling 48-hour shifts, fighting all the bum fires. But there was a new budget last month, and Bass refused to raise their funding, even though the Palisades no longer exists in large part. Even that didn't stop her. You know, I'm sure the knee-jerk reaction is like, well, after this, you know, they're going to fund the fire department and they're going to fill up that reservoir. Well, here you go. What is it now? 16 months later? The reservoir is still empty and the fire department is still defunded. Meantime, she's lecturing us for comprehensive health care for homeless people so that the guys who start the fires can have a new set of teeth. Anyway, they showed up at the city clerk's office, the firefighters, with over 200,000 signatures, half-cent increase. The money would go to firefighters, ambulances, fire trucks, and fix up the old fire stations, which have been crumbling for decades. This is all true. There's a shortage of fire trucks and ambulances. The fire trucks they do have, a lot of them are busted, and there's nobody to fix them because there's a shortage of mechanics. They don't even have the parts. They have slow response times. Here's a quote from Rob Ramirez. No, make it Rich Ramirez. He's vice president of the United Firefighters of Los Angeles. We are going to have the president come on in the 5 o'clock hour, Doug Coates, to talk about this further. But it told the California Post, we have the same amount of firefighters as we did in 1960. Now, wrap your head around that. 1960. I wasn't here. I didn't exist. Lots of people didn't exist in 1960. What would you have to be? You'd have to be at least 65, 66 years old. We have the same amount of firefighters here. In the meantime, hundreds of thousands of people, no, millions of people moved to Los Angeles. And they didn't add one single net firefighter. The call volume is now 5 times greater. In 1960, Los Angeles firefighters responded to 100,000 calls a year. Now, it's 500,000 calls a year. The city has almost doubled in population. So it was around 2 million. Now it's around 4 million. So about 2 million people moved to Los Angeles. We didn't add a single firefighter. For all I know, we have the same firefighting crew from 1960. They're supposed to respond within 4.5 minutes. It takes 8 minutes. What did I tell you? We have, I keep telling you, we have half a fire department. And you look at all these statistics, it's true. You can measure it by response times. It's 8 minutes instead of 4. It's doubled in population, the city, with the same number of firefighters. You see? We should have had double the firefighters. And Rich Ramirez said, when every second counts, someone is having a heart attack or is trapped in a car. Somebody cannot breathe. Oh, man. So if they're looking to verify the signatures, and if enough qualify, the city council would put the measure on the ballot July 1st. But this is the money that should be sucked out of the criminal homeless enterprise that Karen Bass is feeding. Remember, she lost $2 billion in homeless money and refuses to explain where it went. And Colleen Williams and Conan Nolan on Channel 4 in that debate never asked her about it. Sometimes I just marvel at the television reporters in Los Angeles, because if I have Karen Bass here and Spencer Pratt and Ithia Rahman, one of the top questions is $2 billion in homeless money. Mayor Bass, you can't account for it by your own admission. In fact, you hired 15 attorneys so you wouldn't have to testify about it in a civil court. No, it didn't come up. Ramirez said conditions in the department have deteriorated since the Palisades fire. Why do they want us all to die? Why do they want us to burn to death in a fire? This is what I'm talking about, Karen Bass. They're behind that fake, frozen Joker smile, there is no empathy at all. She's got a cold, dark, barren soul. 12 people fried to a crisp. And the funding gets cut at the fire department. And she fired the fire chief who told the world, yeah, we couldn't handle the fire. We warned her, and she's still doing it. But yet in the poll that came out today, 30%. Still 30% support for her. There is a terrible, terrible brain disease that's infected a lot of people. They're willing to die in a fire rather than not vote for whatever woke progressive is on the ballot. I don't know if they're voting for her gender, for her skin color. I don't know why they'd be voting, or her teeth maybe. So the firefighters have to spend a lot of their free time now. They're going to have to campaign to get the voters to go along with this new sales tax. Why can't they take the money out of the homeless thing is failing? It's just a crime syndicate. Why is it so difficult to say, okay, it's over? You got 30 days notice. Steal whatever you can for the next 30 days, and by June 15th, it's over. Just shut off the spigot. And no more programs for the homeless people, but there will be buses available if you want to get out of town. But we're not paying for this anymore. Why should we pay for it? Beverly Hills doesn't want to pay for it, so they don't allow them. Manhattan Beach doesn't pay for it. They won't allow them. Glendale won't pay for it. They don't allow them. Simple. Malibu doesn't have them. How can Glendale and Burbank and Malibu and Manhattan Beach, most of the cities in Orange County, how come? State of Florida doesn't have this. Everybody used to say, "Oh, it's the weather." That's not the weather. It's because we give out all this free stuff, including the crack pipes, including the meth pipes, and the syringes for the fentanyl. In for Deborah Mark, it is Brigida D'Agostino live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here's the latest. Children's author Corey Richins has been sentenced to life in prison for poisoning and killing her husband. Former California governor candidate Steven Kubc has been arrested, and a federal lawsuit accuses the U.S. Agriculture Secretary of violating the First Amendment by mixing church and state. Right now, we're going to a crash in Sun Valley on the 5.
So this one is on the northbound side coming up at Sheldon. They've been blocking the carpool and left lane. That drive is still very messy getting out of Burbank. I'm seeing delays that are pushing back from just about Empire. So they're trying to get everything situated and cleared out of lanes, but it's still tough for now. That southbound side of the 5 also slowing in Burbank from Alameda. Delays in stretches all the way to the 605. And the 605 in Norwalk slows, leaving the 105 northbound delays all the way to the 60. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
You're losing your hair and you need a simple solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology with top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need advanced hair. They've completely redefined hair restoration from the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair. Address all of them with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment in a calm, relaxed environment with the most experienced professionals. Advanced Hair has performed tens of thousands of these breakthrough treatments. And get this, your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day. No one can offer anything like the Advanced FUE found at Advanced Hair. It's where I address my hair loss, and I recommend you do the same. Now, it all starts with a free consultation. Call 844-333-HAIR. If you qualify, you're also going to get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Redefine your hairline with the team that's redefined hair restoration. 844-333-HAIR, 844-333-HAIR, advancedhair.com.
This is Sarah Spain with the latest from iHeart Women's Sports.
Presented by Capital One Bank.
Today marks the tip-off of the WNBA's historic 30th season, with 2 new teams joining the league, the Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire, to bring the total to 15 for the 2026 season. The Las Vegas Aces are the returning champs, led by 4-time WNBA MVP A'ja Wilson. 3 games on the slate tonight. For more women's sports stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts. As a founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports Network, Capital One is here to help you learn more about today's top athletes. Plus, Capital One offers no fees or minimums on checking accounts. Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One, N.A. member FDIC.
This report is sponsored by iHeartAdvertising.com.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next 2 combined. Learn how podcasting can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
Commercial contractors. It takes a well-managed crew of professionals to keep a company running smoothly, and that takes time. ServiceTitan, the end-to-end business management platform for the trades, provides the tools to manage your crew in the field. With automated scheduling, time tracking, progress updates, and more, your teams stay on track, on budget, and aligned from start to finish. Learn how ServiceTitan is taking your teams to new levels of efficiency. Visit ServiceTitan.com to request a demo. That's ServiceTitan.com.
Call Lear Capital for your free gold investment kit. 800-225-8100.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
Check out AMCO's multiple financing options, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow.
AA MCO.
Call 1-800-GO-AMCO today.
Choose one of Wendy's new Biggie Deals. At $4, $6, and $8, pick one of the new Biggie Deals you're craving. For a pretty biggie deal, gotta be Wendy's. U.S. price and participation may vary.
At GimmeTheVin.com, it's all digital. We have a 45-second offer online. It's fast, it's easy, and we have the best online reviews on the planet. Sell me your car.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Are you avoiding shorts or dresses because of your varicose veins? You find yourself covering up, feeling self-conscious about how your legs look? Don't wait another minute. West Medical can treat varicose veins in under an hour with no downtime. That's right. One simple call and a quick procedure can help you feel confident again. Most treatments are affordable and covered by PPO insurance. Love your legs again. Feel incredible. Call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL today. That's 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL or go to westmedical.com.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Yacht Rock Radio on iHeartRadio drops anchor and goes commercial free every weekend.
This is it.
Weekends were made for smooth sailing. Yacht Rock Radio's got the soundtrack. Just sit back, put your feet up, and enjoy. The smoothest soft rock from the 70s and 80s.
You're the biggest part of me.
Open the free iHeart app, search Yacht Rock, and set sail.
iHeartRadio.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show.
We have 3 ways for you to appear smarter than you are, and one of them might not be to listen.
Yeah, we're going to need a lot more ways around here. Show starts tomorrow at 9.
We got a $1,000 giveaway.
Now is your opportunity to win $1,000. Yeah! Just enter the nationwide keyword on our website. Cash. That's cash, C-A-S-H. Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash. Brought to you by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. Office in Los Angeles, California, and sweetjames.com.
Cash, that's the word. You enter that at KFIAM640.com/cash. If you win, you'll get an email. Check your junk and spam folder and listen to KFI. We have a new winning keyword every hour, every weekday from 9 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. And next chance to win here with me is at 4:20 here on KFI. John Kobylt Show as we keep rolling on. And we're live on YouTube. So run to YouTube and you could watch us do the thing here, and you could battle with all the other people in the chat room. I told you in the last segment that the fire department is going to be going to the public and just begging for more money. They got over 200,000 signatures to put on the ballot. And if it's approved, if it's verified, then in November, we're going to vote on another half-cent sales tax. And it's because Karen Bass refuses to fund the fire department. And nobody questions her on it. It's a bizarre situation, considering what happened. This isn't theoretical anymore. And the answer is simple here. Defund the homeless racket. We're spending billions. Defund the homeless racket. And that frees up money for things like fire and police, and roads, and street lights, and sidewalks, and garbage pickup. You know what she's spending the money on, though? Now, last week, and I heard this with my own ears, during the debate, Karen Bass said we should not be handing out free needles, excuse me. But Jamie Page, California Post, she has a story. Hordes of junkies are still lining up for free needles. There's a black Jeep that circles MacArthur Park. That's right. California Post went there Tuesday. When was the debate? Was it last Wednesday, Thursday? Last Wednesday. So less than a week later, and this is what she does. She puts on the grandmother smile, tells you she's against syringes and needles and meth pipes and crack pipes being handed out. But your tax money, it's exactly what it goes for. So California Post goes Tuesday and watch syringes being handed out in the middle of the neighborhood. Residents and business owners say the area has spiraled into an open-air drug bazaar. Now, this is after the feds arrested 25 drug dealers connected to the cartels and the Mexican mafia. There's now the city. See, they got rid of 25 drug dealers, and the city steps in with its own Jeep to hand out the paraphernalia. It's described as an open-air drug bazaar flooded with fentanyl, crack, meth, and overdose emergencies. John Alley is quoted. We've had John on several times. It's the third time she has lied. He's tired of Bass. She told me at the park with the chief standing next to me, she was against needle and drug pipe handouts. I asked her if I could quote her on that, and she said, I'm against it. Yeah, you can quote her on that, but she's still not going to do it because she's a pathological liar. The Post on Tuesday watched the sidewalk project, hand out the needles and the crack pipes in MacArthur Park. When we come back, I'll tell you how Bass funds the crack pipe and needle giveaway. That's our tax money. I'll draw you a little diagram here. Not literally, but it's not hard to understand. So she goes on television, says she's against it, and we should be handing out needles, and then it keeps going on anyway. In fact, it's actually part of something the city council passed. This is a real business contract they made. Tell you about it when we come back. In for Deborah Mark, it's Brigida D'Agostino live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Corey Richins, the Utah mom convicted of poisoning her husband to death, has been sentenced to life in prison without parole. Legal analyst Bernarda Villalona says the sentencing was today.
Life without the possibility of parole means that the only way that she's leaving that jail is in a coffin.
Richins wrote a children's book about grief after her husband's death and was found guilty of giving him a fentanyl-laced cocktail. Billionaire and former California governor candidate Steven Kubc has been arrested.
Cloobeck is now free on bond after being arrested in West Hollywood for allegedly trying to dissuade people from testifying against his fiancée in a pending criminal case. The LA County Sheriff's Department says Cloobeck was arrested yesterday and freed on a $300,000 bond. The real estate magnate ended his bid for governor late last year and threw his support behind former candidate Eric Swalwell. Eileen Gonzalez, KFI News.
A new bill in the state legislature would require counties to share basic information about their public defender services to address a public defender crisis.
That includes the number of cases each attorney manages. The bill was prompted by a CalMatters investigation that revealed California's lack of defense investigators, which are often the greatest protection against wrongful convictions, and overwhelming workloads for many public defenders, especially in rural areas, making those defense attorneys less likely to challenge prosecutors' evidence in legal motions and take cases to trial. Right now, California relies on counties to provide legal help to people who can't afford a lawyer, but offers no state funding or oversight. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
A federal lawsuit accuses Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins of improperly mixing religion and government. ABC's Peter Haralambous says a federal union and USDA employees claim Rollins violated the First Amendment by invoking Christianity in work emails,
including crediting, quote, gratitude towards a living God in her Thanksgiving email, writing that, quote, God gave us the greatest gift possible in her Christmas email, and describing the story of Jesus' resurrection as, quote, the greatest story ever told in her Easter email.
The USDA says it doesn't comment on pending litigation. We'll check the 10 freeway next.
Lasting Smiles dental implants. We had a ton of listeners that called in for the April Spring Smile Special. So I talked to the team at Lasting Smiles and convinced them to extend it into May. But there's a catch. They are only doing a limited number of cases at these prices. And once the spots are gone, they're gone. So if you're dealing with rotted or decayed teeth, or you've been shopping around for dental implants waiting for the right deal, this is it. You know, you have to do something about that rotted, decayed mouth of yours. Don't kid yourself. Everybody notices it, and they all turn away. They're talking behind your back. You go to Lasting Smiles, they have decades of experience, cutting-edge digital technology, and some of the most competitive pricing in the industry. You can get a free comprehensive dental exam with 3D imaging and a custom treatment plan. Payments as low as $149 a month on approved credit. So you transform your smile and your whole life. For $149 a month, you could swing that. This offer is limited, first come, first serve. Lock in your spot now. Mention KFI or John. Get the special. LastingSmiles.com. Call 844-GO-SMILE. 844-GO-SMILE. 844-GO-SMILE.
Southland weather from KFI. Today, mostly cloudy with highs in the 60s to 70s. It's 73 degrees in La Palma, 74 in Orange. We've got some slowing in Santa Monica on the 10.
Eastbound side of the 10, and the drive is loading up all the way from Lincoln. You're on the brakes across Mid-City all the way to the 5 in Boyle Heights. Even the westbound side of the 10 is pretty slow, leaving the 5 heading back towards the 110 freeway. South LA, that 110 northbound's just loaded from the 105 all the way to Stadium Way, and southbound delays on the 110 also pushing back from the 5. And that slow drive continues all the way to the 105 freeway. out to Glassell Park on the 2 southbound. That will also load up right around Verdugo Road as you continue ahead towards the 5 freeway. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Nick and Ari founded RefundYourLemon.com with one mission, helping drivers fight back when manufacturers refuse to fix defective vehicles. Their firm focuses exclusively on lemon law cases, helping consumers get refunds, replacement vehicles, or cash compensation. They've won cases in court and recovered major results for drivers across California. Most clients pay nothing out of pocket. If your car keeps going back to the dealership, learn your rights today. Visit RefundYourLemon.com. It takes just 2 minutes. That's RefundYourLemon.com.
Are you tired of being blind? If you've been thinking about LASIK, think Excel Laser Vision. Glasses, contacts, fix it with LASIK. I did almost 20 years ago. Until May 31, mention I sent you and you'll get the most advanced LASIK for as low as $62 a month per eye with no interest financing. Stop looking, start seeing. For a free consultation, dial pound 250 on your cell and say the keyword Excel Eye. Pound 250 on the cell, say Excel Eye, or visit exceleye.com.
My friends, the yard care industry sold us toxic chemicals and called it green. It's time for Sunday. No harsh chemicals, just real ingredients so your yard can thrive. Get your custom Sunday yard plan for spring at getsunday.com.
American Vision Windows. Book by May 31st and save 25% off windows and doors.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
In this edition of the Marketers Report, Chris Epple, head of marketing for the Americas, Harman JBL, weighs in on the importance of audio.
It's been amazing over the last couple of years to see what's happened with audio. We've doubled our investment in the last 2 years in the audio space. We find it to be highly critical to our business.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to the audiences, live conversations, and trusted influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
Check out AMCO's multiple financing options, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow.
AA MCO.
AMCO, with over 40 centers serving Southern California.
Join us on Sunday, May 17th for an unforgettable experience at the 14th annual Tour de Pier, held at the Manhattan Beach Pier and Strand. Set against the scenic backdrop of the Pacific Ocean, the award-winning outdoor stationary cycling fundraiser blends fitness and purpose. The Tour de Pier benefits 3 nonprofit cancer organizations dedicated to funding innovative research and support services. Feel the excitement. Feel the rush. Feel the burn. Tour de Pier is more than your average spin class. It's a unique mix of fun, entertainment, and a free expo. Visit tourdepier.com for more information.
KFI.
AM 640.
An iHeart radio station.
More stimulating talk.
KFI, AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. It's the John Kobylt Show, and we're on with you from 3 to 6 every day in many different ways. You have us live here on the radio and on streaming. You have the podcast after 6 o'clock, John Kobylt Show on demand. And so you can pick up on what you missed. And we're live on YouTube. So you could just, put us on the big screen at home, right? And just, it's like you're sitting with me right here in the studio. Or it's like I'm sitting in the living room with you or at the kitchen table. That's right. Prop me up on your laptop at the kitchen table, like I'm a member of the family. And you're a member of our family. That's the way we do it every afternoon from 3 to 6. Okay, I probably should stop. All right, we're in the middle. See, I'm really crazy today. There's a poll out from the LA Times. No. LA Times published it, but who did it? Emerson and Inside California Politics. They put it together. Now, there's problems with the poll because it only did 350 people. They way oversampled Latino voters who don't vote in big percentages compared to their population. They undersampled older voters over 50 who do vote in great numbers. So the numbers are a little funky. But Bass is at 30. Spencer Pratt's at 22. That's good. She's up 5. He's up 10. Nithya Rahman is up 10. to 19. Only 3 behind Pratt. But her big support is among young voters. Apparently, this whole generation never met a communist that they don't want to put in charge of the city or the state or the country. However, they vote in far less quantities than this poll has measured. That's the good thing. One of the things in the debate that Bass said very clearly is that she does not want needles and pipes, crack pipes, meth pipes to be distributed by the city. And I knew she was lying when she said it because we've had John Alley on a number of times, and he's a businessman with properties in the MacArthur Park area. And we've had him on the show, and he has said definitively over and over again, she always says that in person to him. She'll say it on television, but in actuality, you have these vans and Jeeps driving around, handing out the meth and the crack pipes and the syringes for the fentanyl. She's handing out the needles. Now, the Jamie Page in the California Post has detailed the proof of this. Because to this point, it's like a guy like John Alley saying, yes, it's out there and we're paying for it. And Karen Bass says, no, I'm against it. Okay. City records reviewed by the Post show the distribution. Gee, who do you think is lying here? The distribution is tied to an initiative backed by Karen Bass worth more than $1 million that was approved by the city council in November of 2024 after being introduced by Bass's office. So Karen Bass introduced this initiative. It's a contract for $1 million, and the city council approved it with the money going for distributing 75,000 sterile syringes, 25,000 safer smoking kits. Do you know what a safer smoking kit is? That is progressive speak for a crack pipe. 25,000 crack pipe kits and 5,000 doses of naloxone, which reverses a fentanyl overdose. So they hand out the syringes so you can inject yourself with the fentanyl, and then they hand out the naloxone so you don't die from the fentanyl. So we pay for the injection and we pay for the recovery. We do. Tax money. Karen Bass proposed this to the city council. $1 million. They got Jamie Page over at the Post, saw the records. So she called Bass's office. And here's the response. Mayor Bass supports the health and safety of all Angelenos. She wants to see people struggling with addictions get the help they need to gain and maintain sobriety. Well, how do you gain and maintain sobriety when us taxpayers are paying for the syringes and the crack pipes, the safer smoking kits, and the naloxone? We're giving them the materials to stay addicted. And she has the police department allowing the drug dealers to keep distributing the drugs. And then she goes on television. And then I hear people say, I'm not going to vote for Spencer Pratt. He's not experienced. Well, she is. She's been in government for 30 years. And this is what it's come to. The experienced one is actually spending the money on the syringes and the crack pipes and the meth pipes and the naloxone. Bass's office also wrote that the needle exchange programs are not designed to end people's addictions. No kidding. Well, if you're giving them new needles of Of course it's not going to end it. But this is what she does. She states the obvious, and you're supposed to nod along. It's like, okay, well, yeah, it's not supposed to end the addiction. Well, how could it? She says we should be doing everything we can to end drug use in our parks, especially given the increased use of deadly drugs like fentanyl. Again, she says something obvious that everybody agrees with, except she's handing out the syringes and exchanging the needles. Oh, yeah, we should be doing everything we can to end drug use in the park. Well, what am I, crazy? It's $1 million. It's $1 million worth of drug paraphernalia. The only part that Karen Bass doesn't handle is the actual drugs. She leaves that to the drug cartels who have free reign. And by the way, this wasn't a one-day investigation. The California Post, for more than 7 months, has documented what's going on at MacArthur Park. There's got photographs and video of overdoses, open-air drug use, violent incidents, prostitution, drug dealing, addicts passed out on the sidewalk. Oh, you want to hear another big laugh from Bass's office? The mayor's background working in the LA County General Emergency Room shaped her understanding of addiction and overdose crises. We're actively reviewing these programs citywide and recognize that many of them are operating alongside other valuable services. What the hell does that mean? We recognize it. Of course, it's in the contract. The $1 million has to be spent to give these people a delivery system for their drugs. That's the mandate in the contract. If this sidewalk project didn't hand out the drug delivery systems, they'd be in violation because they're taking tax money, so they have to follow through. John Alley says it's worse than ever. There are fewer families and more transient addicts than ever. Families avoid the area. The fentanyl, meth, and crack use are unfolding in broad daylight. Oh, and the recent law enforcement activity, which I'm really happy about. We had Bill Assaley on it. It scattered the drug dealers, but they returned to the surrounding streets and businesses. Alley says as soon as the feds came in with the police and the FBI, the dealers moved, and then they came right back to the drug sales and the drug distribution. The residents are complaining about robberies, the violence, and the addicts freaking out. But the programs continue. And Alley said of Karen Bass, she doesn't walk alone. She's not acknowledging the fact that people are as high as a kite. And we're paying for it. And she's getting 30% of the vote. Why? 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 We're going to have more coming up. Deborah Mark's off today. She's the lucky one. Brigida D'Agostino is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. If you wish.
Here's the latest. President Trump meets with China's leader tonight in their 5th summit. Paris Jackson wins a legal battle over Michael Jackson's estate in L.A. and worries about anti-Asian sentiment sweep Arcadia after its mayor was accused of acting as a foreign agent for China. We'll check the 405 freeway next.
Here's a question. How many brokers does it take to insure your business? If you're like most business owners, the answer is too many. Multiple policies, multiple applications, no clear view of how it all fits together. And when questions come up, it's not easy to get the clarity you need. SuperSure changes that. One broker for all your business insurance, backed by a team that works with you year-round, not just at renewal. And if you've ever stared at a policy wondering what it actually covers, SuperSure has a fine print facts tool that translates the legal jargon into plain English, so you know what's covered and what's not. And right now, you can go to supersure.com and get a full report on your current policies with no obligation. And find out if you're overinsured, underinsured, somewhere in between. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Go to supersure.com, supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Southland weather from KFI by Whole Foods Market. Today, mostly cloudy with highs in the 60s to 70s. We're going to a stall on the 405 in Long Beach.
So this stall in Long Beach on the 405 has been really loading up the drive. It looks like they've just cleared it out of lanes southbound at Cherry, but traffic remains a mess away from the 710 freeway. We're also looking at the drive in Costa Mesa. They've cleared a crash on the 73 North approaching that 55 freeway off to the shoulder, but delays are still pretty stopped up away from about MacArthur Boulevard. Also in La Crescenta, another stall. This is the 210 westbound before La Crescenta Avenue. Right lane is blocked. Delays out of La Cañada from Angeles Crest Highway. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Finish the night with indulgent favorites from Whole Foods Market. Get 2 Ben & Jerry's and Talenti frozen pints for $8 with Prime through May 26th. Mix and match your favorite flavors and toppings. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident? Don't wait. Call Sweet James for a free case review at 800-9-MILLION or visit sweetjames.com. Offices throughout California, including Los Angeles. No guarantee of results. Past outcomes do not predict future outcomes.
With iHeart, everything you hear is guaranteed human. That's why 78% of listeners trust their favorite radio host's product recommendations. If you manage a business or need to drive sales, that trust goes a long way. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com. Again, that's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Call Lear Capital for your free gold investment kit. 800-225-8100.
Lose the weight, feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST Medical.
Therapy Thursday is now a podcast. Listen to me, Ellen Kay, Ryan Mano, and therapist Sarah Dash on the iHeart app or wherever you get your podcasts. Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-506-9295. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-506-9295. That's 800-506-9295. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The first Top Shelf Country Cruise promised big, and it delivered. Now the bar's set. If you were there, you know. If you weren't, it's time to get on board. Set sail aboard the Celebrity Summit in March 2027, where laid-back luxury meets country fun. We're talking toes in the sands of Bimini, fun in the sun in Key West and Cozumel, live band karaoke, trivia, bingo, and performances from Riley Green, Chris Young, Lauren Elena, Randy Hauser, and more. Lock in your cabin now at TopShelfCountryCruise.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-764-6022. 800-764-6022. 800-764-6022.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Wake Up Call with Amy King.
KFI Radio, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Amy King with KFI's Wake Up Call. How do you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
The Eagle has landed, and its name is Amy King.
Wake Up Call with Amy King. Live 5 to 6 a.m. on KFI. And on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Skip this. Tap that red talkback mic on the iHeartRadio app while listening to your favorite station.
You guys rock.
Instant feedback. And the best feature, if you mess up,
hopefully I'm sending these messages correctly.
Do it again. Leave a talkback now on the free iHeartRadio app.
KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk.
On the next Bill Handel Show, President Trump is in China for that high-stakes summit. It's going to be known as the Mugu Gaipan Summit of 2026. What is expected? What actually comes of it? We'll talk about that tomorrow morning after 7 o'clock on the next Bill Handel Show.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. It's the John Kobylt Show. And coming up after 5 o'clock, we are going to have the president of the Firefighters Union, the LA local, and Doug Coates is his name. United Firefighters of Los Angeles City. That's the official name of the union. Doug Coates, to talk about them getting 225,000 people to sign a ballot initiative to put this up for a vote in November to raise the half-cent sales tax to fund the fire department because Karen Bass refuses to. I told you we're on YouTube Live, so certainly go there. And I do also have to put in a plug because I got to go home. My wife has a show called Deborah Kobylt Live, and I was her guest today. And we talked a lot about the mayor and governor's race. So if you have some time later, Deborah Kobylt Live on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch me and her on TV talking. And it was really good. So you'd enjoy it if you got some time there. All right. You know, everything is worse than you think. And I was just telling you about the Sidewalk Project, which is one of these nonprofits that takes $1 million of your tax money if you live in LA, and they spend it on crack pipes and drug. What did they call it? Safe smoking kits.
Yeah.
That's the crack pipes, and they also needle exchange, syringes, meth pipes. $1 million we spend on that. $1 million. 75,000 sterile syringes, 25,000 safer smoking kits. That's crack pipes. 5,000 doses of naloxone. So I look up the Sidewalk Project. You're not going to believe this, okay? You are not going to believe this. I look at their blog. This is the sidewalkproject.org. You should read this yourself. Here are some of the headlines. Well, first of all, their mission statement is the integration of harm reduction into the structures of our society is essential to reducing violence against autonomous bodies. See, that's their stated rationale for allowing drug addicts to destroy themselves. We all have autonomous bodies. We're all allowed to do whatever we want to our bodies and just whatever we want. That's fine. You do it at home, in your basement, not on the streets, and destroy our city. Of course, the real reason they have this is because as long as these people are addicted, these people are making money. I got to find out what the principals of the Sidewalk Project make. Guarantee you the top people there make six figures. Here are some of their headlines. As the LA city attorney targets the Figueroa corridor, where will sex workers go? Where will the prostitutes go? That's their number one post that they have. This is what we're spending our tax money on. Pardon the language, but one of their posts is celebrating International Whores Day on June 2nd. It commemorates the occupation of a church in France by more than 100 sex workers to draw attention to the inhumane working conditions and police violence against them. That's what you're spending your tax money on. All right, we got a minute. I could read some comments and answer them. Okay, now this is all over the place by design. These are people who are following us on YouTube and commenting. Rocket Scientist 969 says gasoline is what is that? $3.15 in Kansas. $3.15. I paid over $6 today. I paid $3 more. All right, give me the next one. Oh, my God. Let's see. Lumberton60 says, I love Pratt. Well, you better spread your love around and convince other people. Pratt all the way from air, says Barry Winter, 2075. Bridget Novello says, basura. Very good. Can we sue the city for killing people and giving them drugs? Asked Kid Piz. Can we sue the city for killing people and giving them drugs? Apparently not. We don't give them the drugs. We give them the means of distributing the drugs into their autonomous bodies. But we allow the drug cartel goons, the Mexican mafia members, to roam the streets actually selling the drugs. We let that go on. And you vote for the people. I mean, this whole thing I just explained to you, where the $1 million goes to this crazy sidewalk project, that was a Karen Bass proposal to the city council, which approved to spend the money for the crack pipes and the meth pipes and the syringes and the needle exchange. And if you go to their blog, all they're worried about is a lot of those sex workers. I'm not going to use that phrase. They're prostitutes. That's the kind phrase. They're underage. It's nothing different than what Jeffrey Epstein did. Karen Bass allows on Figueroa Boulevard exactly what Jeffrey Epstein was doing on his island. Funny, there is zero outrage about Karen Bass permitting that operation on Figueroa. It is exactly the same thing as what Epstein was doing. All right. I don't know if I'm going to make it another hour here. All right, coming up right after the news, Doug Coates, the president of the United Firefighters of Los Angeles City. They got 225,000 signatures to raise the sales tax a half cent in November to fund the fire department, which is grossly underfunded. Deborah Mark is off. We got Brigida D'Agostino live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Summit States. I'm Brigida D'Agostino, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. President Trump meets with Chinese President Xi Jinping tonight in Beijing. ABC's Mary Bruce says it'll be the leaders' fifth summit.
President Trump and Chinese President Xi looking to discuss trade, technology, and artificial intelligence. But the fact is the war in Iran hangs over this summit.
She says Trump is expected to urge China to pressure Iran. Paris Jackson has won a legal fight involving Michael Jackson's estate in Los Angeles. ABC's Alex Stone says she challenged more than $625,000 in bonuses paid to law firms by the estate's executors in 2018, arguing the payments were excessive.
Now, a Los Angeles judge has agreed with Paris Jackson, saying the money must be returned to the estate. Paris's attorney said the bonuses were wasteful gift-giving.
A spokesperson for Paris says it's a massive win. Residents are worried about new anti-Asian sentiment after Arcadia's mayor was accused of acting as an unregistered foreign agent for China.
Although Mayor Eileen Wang has stepped down from her post, there are now calls to investigate others in the city. Community Facebook page posts are even calling for the entire city council to be replaced. Former Homeland Security spokesperson Katie Zachariah has called for a wholesale review of legal permanent residents and people from adversarial countries. U.S. Representative Judy Chu, who previously endorsed Wang, says the racist discourse from the right is troubling, and she will fight against the racial profiling and scapegoating of Chinese Americans. Eileen Gonzalez, KFI News.
Officials in Huntington Beach are facing backlash after money meant for after-school programs was shifted to fishing trips for veterans.
The funding comes from the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development. Voice of OC reports money's going to Save the Brave, a nonprofit offshore fishing program for veterans that focuses on what's called saltwater therapy, taking vets with PTSD on outings to talk and decompress. Some of that funding's coming from money that was marked for other nonprofits for kids, such as after-school programs and help for homeless and at-risk kids. This comes amid unsubstantiated claims of fraud in the kids' programs and an apparent lack of transparency in the reallocation. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
A strong housing market has not lived up to expectations.
The Wall Street Journal said economists anticipated a 3% increase in existing home sales in April after going down almost 3% in March. The mortgage rate for 30-year mortgages falling below 6% was supposed to help with the bounce back, but last month they only went up 0.2%. Real estate agents say the war against Iran pushed mortgage rates back above 6%, and buyers tell them they're put off by the frozen job market and high home prices. Almost 1.5 million homes were on the market last month, the highest amount for April since 2019. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
We'll check the 10 freeway next.
Lasting Smiles dental implants. We had a huge response to the April Smile special. So I got them to extend it into May, but they're only offering a limited number of spots at these prices. If you've been dealing with ugly missing teeth, you have this rotted, gross smile, really a non-smile, and you've been waiting for the right deal, well, this is the right deal. You'll get a free comprehensive dental exam, 3D imaging, a custom treatment plan, payments as low as $149 a month on approved credit. First come, first served, limited availability. Lock in your spot, mention KFI or John. LastingSmiles.com. Call 844-GO-SMILE. 844-GO-SMILE. 844-GO-SMILE.
Southland weather from KFI tonight. Cloudy with highs in the 60s. It's 73 degrees in La Palma, 73 in Orange, 69 in Studio City, 66 in Santa Monica. The KFI financial report. The Dow lost 67. S&P 500 gained 43 and NASDAQ gained 314. We're going to a stall on the 10 in Mid-City.
Eastbound side, and it's just before Vermont. Well, it's out of lanes now in the center divider, but we are looking at a tough drive all the way out of Santa Monica. Delays from 20th Street. Also in Corona, a stall on the 15 southbound before El Cerrito Road. Left lane is blocked. And that 15 southbound is pretty messy off of the 91 freeway. Also, I checked in with the Highway Patrol, and they said that they're getting lots of calls about this in San Bernardino. 215 northbound at Inland Center Drive. That's where they had reports of a tire in the second lane from the left. So it's causing quite the bunch up there. And looks like it's, big enough to have a lot of people call in about it. The Cajon Pass, the 15 northbound, that's slowing down from Kenwood to Cleghorn. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
As the experts in transmissions for over 50 years, there's nothing at AMCO we haven't heard.
So when I hit the gas, it's just a belt.
And nothing we can't fix.
It's going. What's that?
From transmissions to brakes and everything in between. No credit? Finance your repair at AMCO.
Exclusions apply, may not be combined with any other offer. Limited time offer. Participating centers only.
People who know go to AMCO. AA MCO.
Call 1-800-GO-AMCO today. You're losing your hair and you need a simple solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology with top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need advanced hair. They've completely redefined hair restoration from the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair. Address all of them with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment in a calm, relaxed environment with the most experienced professionals. Advanced Hair has performed tens of thousands of these breakthrough treatments. And get this, your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day. No one can offer anything like the Advanced FUE found at Advanced Hair. It's where I address my hair loss, and I recommend you do the same. Now, it all starts with a free consultation. Call 844-333-HAIR. If you qualify, you're also going to get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Redefine your hairline with the team that's redefined hair restoration. 844-333-HAIR, 844-333-HAIR, advancedhair.com.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. We're on every day from 3 to 6, after 6. John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. And we're live on YouTube for another hour, all the way to 6 o'clock. So you go to John Kobylt Show on YouTube, John Kobylt Show. And now this is an interesting case here. Los Angeles firefighters, they have a union known as the United Firefighters of Los Angeles City, UFLAC. Their president, Doug Coates, is coming on with us now because the firefighters collected 226,000 signatures and have handed them over to the LA City Clerk. It would be an initiative on the ballot to raise the sales tax a half a cent. This is separate from anything else that might be going on. Sales tax go up a half a cent, and it's supposed to fund the fire department. More firefighters and paramedics, fire stations, new equipment. I've been telling you, we have half the fire department in Los Angeles, and Karen Bass cut it further after allowing the Palisades to burn and killing 12 people. She cut the fire department further. So the firefighters are fighting back. Let's talk with Doug Coates. How are you, Doug?
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm good. Explain to people how the funding has shrunk over the years. Have people understand just how bad it's been.
Yeah, so I kind of start off with, we have the same number of firefighters as we did in the 1960s. Again, the 1960s. So we have 6 fewer stations than the 1960s and 5 times the emergency call load that we had back in the 1960s. So that is the biggest push right now, is for this ballot measure to put half-cent sales tax. And that would give us more money, like you said, for more firefighters, more paramedics, more engines, trucks, rescues, fix our old fire stations, fix all our broken rigs. And yes, we got cut 42 firefighter positions halfway through the year for our budget cuts in June of 2025 after the Palisades.
She cut more firefighters after the Palisades fire.
Correct.
Has anything positive been done in the last year for the fire department, or are you in the same or worse situation in terms of the equipment and the repairs?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of broken down engines, trucks, rescues. We actually are worse of January of 2026 than we were January of 2025. We have more broken down rigs than we had in January of 2025.
Does anybody in the Bass administration have anything to say as to why they do this? Because they're obviously endangering people. We had 12 deaths in the Palisades, in addition to the thousands of homes and businesses. Is there anybody with a conscience in her administration?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell you this. This isn't something that she did or the past or the past or the past. This has been decades and decades of underfunding, unmanaging our fire department, and the Palisades showcase this, right? And that's the biggest thing. This isn't this 1 year, 2 years. It's been going on for decades. And that's the biggest thing and that's why we're pushing that we can't get the help. We can't get any more of the general fund to be able to respond to our citizens correctly. And that's why we're pushing it.
So you have the same number of firefighters, roughly, same number of fire stations as LA had in the 1960s, but the workload has increased dramatically. Describe how much more the firefighters have to do compared to back in the 60s.
Yeah, obviously we took on EMS. So back in the 1960s, they only did fire only. Now we do fire and EMS. And 80% of our calls are EMS. So you can kind of put the numbers together. We have increased massive. And the other thing too is obviously more. We've gone from, double the population. We're at 4.5 million people. Around 4.5 million people in the city of LA, and we can't respond to all the locations. We're nearly double the national standard. So if you call 911 and it should take us 4.5 minutes to get there, it's take us about 8 minutes to get to your residence, and that's not right to the citizens of LA.
So we have double the population with the same amount of firefighters, and you guys took on all the emergency calls, and the time it takes to get someone to show up has doubled.
Yes.
So everything's pointing in the wrong direction.
Yes.
The fires. I've read that 14,000 a year are started by the homeless.
I don't have the exact number, exactly how many it is, but we go on approximately 30 plus fires a day in the city of LA. That's all the stations combined together. 30 plus fires.
30 plus fires a day
of rubbish fires. Yep. Or started. I don't know what the exact amount with homeless versus accidental versus all that, but a lot of them are homeless related.
Yeah, that'd be over 10,000 fires right there.
Yeah,
yeah. And I've seen 13 printed in some news stories, but that's the range. That's the general range, which is unbelievable because, again, going back to the 60s, when you had the same number of people, I imagine the number of homeless fires were pretty close to zero.
Yeah.
I saw 2 years ago the amount of money they were spending on the homeless agencies was more than the fire department was getting by a lot, by like about $500 million.
Yeah. No, we get approximately 900 million, 924 to be exact. That's what our budget is for the fire department. That's everything included. And it is not enough to keep this pace going. Our men and women in the field always show up, always do a good job, never complain. This is the first time that we are reaching out to go, hey, we need some help with the public. We need you to vote on this ballot measure to give us the 0.5-cent sales tax in the November ballot to be able to assist you. And just to further that, we spent $1 million of our own money, the firefighters' personal money, we've put in this ballot measure because we believe in it so much.
And you've been going around trying to get signatures, some of the firefighters?
So we've actually done the signatures. So we submitted them yesterday. They're going to be on a 30-day. They're going to go through the signatures for 30 days. We only needed 154,000. We got 220. And so we've surpassed it. It just shows you that the public is with us and standing behind us.
So you think
now we're on the second.
Do you think they'll vote for it though? Because certainly people are exhausted by the tax climate in California.
Yeah, I mean it's a great question, and I just want the people to know that why we did this ballot measure is that we understand we're putting a 0.5-cent sales tax on the people, but we need this money to serve the citizens of LA. They deserve it, right? We put a lot of protections into place. That's why we did our own ballot language. We paid our own money.
Stop there. I want to talk. Can you stay on another segment?
Of course.
Because I can hear probably thousands of people saying, how do we know the money's going to be spent on the fire department and it's not going to be stolen or siphoned off into something else? So we'll talk about the language you used to protect this money if people choose to vote for the tax. It's Doug Coates, and he is the president of the United Firefighters of Los Angeles City, UFLAC. It's their official union, 225,000 plus signatures that they collected. It goes on the ballot, assuming the verification process goes smoothly, and you will vote on a 0.5-cent increase in November. And it's supposed to go entirely for the needs of the fire department, which, as I'm telling you, is only half funded for the city of the size of Los Angeles. It's just astonishing. And Karen Bass cut it further even after the fire. Cut it further. More coming up with Doug Coates. And in for Deborah Mark, it is Brigida D'Agostino live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here's the latest. President Trump is in China for high-stakes talks with China's leader. Mayor Bass is still leading the race for LA mayor, and money from the One Big Beautiful bill is going to boost airport safety. We'll check the 405 freeway next.
Inheriting a home can be overwhelming between repairs, the time it takes to get everything ready to sell. It's more trouble than it's worth. So you call Seller's Advantage, and they'll do it for you. They'll buy your home as is for cash. Here's one customer's experience. Quote, "We had an inheritance from a relative. It would have taken us a lot of time, money, and headaches to get the property in shape to sell. I heard about Seller's Advantage from radio commercials and decided to give them a try. And their offer is reasonable. And they took care of all the physical effort and legal complexities, and we closed in 3 weeks. Call Seller's Advantage today, whatever your reason to sell. 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-2747, sellersadvantage.com for a free, no-obligation cash offer.
Seller's Advantage will buy your home, make it easy so that you don't have to worry. Sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 0196165. Providence Realty DRE number 01915212.
Let's go to a crash on the 405 in Fountain Valley.
This one's on the northbound side at Brookhurst, and everything's off to the right shoulder. However, that northbound side of the 405, it's going to be slow overall out of Irvine, moving the 133 freeway. And then beyond the scene of the crash, that drive remains heavy as you continue all the way towards Atlantic and Long Beach. Also, another tough spot is Commerce on the 710 southbound before Washington. A wreck is out of lanes, but it's in the center divider, and that drive is loading up away from Whittier Boulevard. The drive is also tough in Mid-City, 10 eastbound before Vermont. They're getting this stall out of the left lane. Overall delays out of Santa Monica, leaving 20th Street. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Recall 67A mobile appointments are now available in your area. We come to you quick, easy, and under an hour. Complete the recall to get $500 plus a warranty worth thousands. Schedule today at CumminsRecall.com.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Earn points like a pro anywhere you go on eligible purchases with the new My Lowe's Pro Rewards American Express card. Plus a 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval, 5% can't be combined with any other offers. Restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
Too many tasks to manage, too little time to grow your business. Sound familiar? ServiceTitan offers commercial contractors AI-powered tools and automations to seamlessly connect their workflow, start to finish. ServiceTitan, AI for the trades. Learn more at ServiceTitan.com.
Call Lear Capital for your free gold investment kit. 800-225-8100.
Do you ever feel like stress and anxiety are running your life, affecting your reactions, your decisions, even your relationships? You're not alone, and it doesn't have to stay that way. For decades, millions have turned to the best-selling book, Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health, for a true understanding of the human mind and why we sometimes think, feel, and act in self-defeating ways. Now you can experience the power of Dianetics for yourself at a live weekend seminar. At a Dianetics seminar, you'll learn exactly how the mind works, gain control over your life, and achieve true happiness. A single weekend can change everything. Register today and take charge of your mental health. Go to Dianetics.org/seminar. That's Dianetics.org/seminar.
Termites active? Call Pacific Coast Termite. No tenting, plus 10% off. Call 1-800-PACIFIC.
How do you turn your backyard or front yard from a normal everyday yard into something spectacular? System pavers will do exactly that. I've used them for paved driveways, synthetic turf, landscape lighting, and System Pavers does it right. No dead grass, no outdated hardscape, no cracked concrete, and they offer complete outdoor living too. Barbecue islands, fire features, water features, you name it. And until May 30th, here is their offer. Free demolition and removal of existing concrete, brick, or asphalt, and instant recycling credit, which is applied to any new project. And I'm on my second go-round with them at my new home. It's a joy having friends and family be jealous of your yard and outdoor living space. System pavers are that good. Call 800-PAVE-004, 800-PAVE-004, systempavers.com/KFI. Website for full offer details, contractor's license 661575.
Hello, I'm Robert Smigel. I did lots of things. Cartoons on SNL, Conan stuff, Triumph the Insult comic dogs, some movies. But now I'm past my peak. So I'm hosting a podcast, Humor Me with Robert Smigel and Friends. Each week, me and my favorite comedians, writers, and whatnots help regular people just like you, presuming you're regular, who have some project or task that they'd like us to help make funnier.
Search Humor Me on iHeartRadio, America's #1 podcast network, and the Webby Podcast Company of the Year.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Hey, it's Conway Show. Today after 6 p.m., we have our first emergency when it comes to the World Cup. We'll tell you what's going on with local hotels today after 6 on the Conway Show.
$1,000 now.
Now is your opportunity to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword on our website. Deposit. That's deposit. DEPOSIT.
Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash.
Brought to you by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. Office in Los Angeles, California, and sweetjames.com.
Deposit. Enter it at KFIAM640.com/cash. If you win, you get an email. Check your junk and spam folder too. And there's a new winning keyword every hour, every weekday. Starts at 9 in the morning all the way to 5 in the afternoon. Next chance to win is going to be tomorrow morning at 9:20 with Gary and Shannon here on KFI. And we continue with Doug Coates. He's the president of the United Firefighters of Los Angeles City, UFLAC. That's the Firefighters Union. And they have delivered 225,000 plus signatures to get a funding measure on the November ballot, a half-cent sales tax increase to hire firefighters, paramedics, build new fire stations, modernize all the equipment, the fire trucks that are all busted up, that don't have mechanics to fix them or parts to upgrade the trucks. It's just awful. Now, when we last left, you were about to talk about the protections that you put in this referendum. Because I guarantee you, everyone listening is going, yes, of course, I want to support the fire department. But, you know, they've been burned so many times. You know, we've had sales tax increase after sales tax increase for homeless programs. And a lot of the money's been stolen. And that whole situation got worse. So I know everybody wants some kind of an assurance that if they vote for this, the money is really going to you guys for the right things.
Yeah, well, first off, I'll tell you that a great question, and I think every voter should care, and that's why we did a lot of our homework. And the truth is, we wrote our ballot measure language. That is one of the biggest keys in this whole deal. All the new revenue must be used on core LAFD functions, including hiring additional firefighters and paramedics, repairing old fire stations, and building new ones, and purchasing essential equipment like fire trucks, engines, and ambulances. At the same time, the language protects historic levels of LAFD funding so that the new revenue can't be used to replace or supplant the old LAFD funding. That's the key right there. So they can't take in one area that is our normal budget and strip it with the new money that this ballot measure will do. And we know that the public supports their firefighters. They don't trust the city. They don't trust City Hall, to be honest with you. And that's why we put these protections in place, because we don't trust City Hall either. And that's why we did this ballot measure on our own, on our backs.
And so you've had attorneys go over, obviously, every word, every line. There is no trapdoor. There's no escape hatch for the city to crawl in and grab the money or divert the money in some way.
Nope. We have protections. And it'll basically go into a lockbox. It's dedicated funding only for us, and it has to be used for those things I talked about: equipment, fire stations, firefighters, paramedics. That's the push, right? Is to make sure we did not want this, that any way that the city could take our old money out of the 900 and go, well, we'll cut you 200 and take it from the new fund. And we made sure we put language in there that they would never be able to do this to us.
Could you see a Palisades situation coming? Were you fearful? Or could you never imagine it would be that bad?
I mean, obviously, I never thought it'd be that bad, but we practice all the time. We have a lot of areas where, the Hollywood Hills to the Palisades to these areas that are hard to get to, that take us a while to get up there. We've practiced for this for, the first day you get on the job. That's our push to make sure that we could protect the public. But again, we've been pounding in over and over through city council, through the mayor, through everybody, that we need more funding. We need more firefighters. We need more fire stations, and we need more equipment, period.
But what do they tell you, all these council members, these staff members? They just say no? I mean, what possible reason for all these years, all these different administrations, what possible reason would they have to always say no?
Well, I think that's it. It's just that there's no money in the fund. We go through ups and down years of funding. Some years are great, some years are bad, but never enough to actually increase our fire department. We stay the same fire department, like I said, in the 1960s.
I know, and it's half of what we need.
Yes.
That's what's astonishing. It's not like we're short 10% or 50. It's 50% short. That's astonishing that this has gone on for so long. Yeah. And how they couldn't value what we need from you guys, considering the terrain and considering now that they let out tens of thousands of homeless people to run around, all these maniacs. I'm just flabbergasted as how this place is managed. Unbelievable. Yeah. All right, if people want to find out more about this, you guys got a website where you explain this particular referendum?
We do. It's called fundlafire.com. Fundlafire.com.
All right. Doug Coates, president of the United Firefighters of Los Angeles, thank you for coming on and making the case. Thanks a lot. All right. We've got unbelievable. We got more coming up. And in for Deborah Mark, it is Brigida D'Agostino live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
President Trump is in Beijing for talks with China's president to discuss trade and possibly the war in Iran. Retired Colonel Steve Ganyard says China has a major interest in reopening the Strait of Hormuz, but he doesn't expect any breakthroughs.
China has a reason to help in Iran. Whether they do or whether they have the power, that's another question. And because they're an export-driven economy, they need the rest of the world to be healthy.
He says without progress on Iran, it's difficult to see the ceasefire holding after the summit. Mayor Bass still holds the lead in the race for Los Angeles mayor.
New survey results from Emerson College polling show 30% of likely voters support Bass. Former reality TV star and community advocate Spencer Pratt has 22% support, while LA City Councilwoman Nithya Raman has 19% support. 7% of likely voters favor entrepreneur Adam Miller, while housing advocate Ray Huang has 4% support. The amount of undecided voters has fallen to 16%. All three of the leading candidates are polling higher than in March. The primary election is now less than 3 weeks away. Daniel Martindale, KFI News.
Governor Newsom has appointed former federal consumer watchdog Rohit Chopra to lead California's new agency focused on consumer protection and business regulation.
Chopra was removed from his federal job as chief of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau after President Trump returned to office. He was known for taking on banks and tech companies over issues like hidden junk fees and algorithmic lending. Newsom says appointing Chopra is part of California's push to protect consumers, especially after federal protections were rolled back. Chopra will be the first leader of California's Business and Consumer Services Agency, which starts July 1st. He says it'll make sure markets aren't rigged against families and small businesses. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
Money from the One Big Beautiful Bill is set aside to improve safety and security at airports across the country. ABC's Michelle Franzen says one project would equip ground vehicles with transponders to help prevent runway accidents.
The FAA says it's spending $16 million to equip all of its ground vehicles at airports with GPS transponders, so controllers will be able to see and track those vehicles.
It follows the collision at New York's LaGuardia Airport in March when two pilots were killed after an Air Canada jet struck a fire truck that did not have a transponder. We'll check the 101 freeway next.
Here's a question. How many brokers does it take to insure your business? If you're like most business owners, the answer is too many. Multiple policies, multiple applications, no clear view of how it all fits together. And when questions come up, it's not easy to get the clarity you need. SuperSure changes that. It's one broker for all your business insurance, and it's backed by a team that works with you year-round, not just at renewal. And if you've ever stared at a policy wondering what it actually covers, SuperSure has a fine print facts tool that translates the legal jargon into plain English so you know what's covered and what's not. And right now you can go to supersure.com and get a full report on your current policies with no obligation. Find out if you're overinsured, underinsured, somewhere in between. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, and all your policies in one place. Go to supersure.com. That's supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Southland weather from KFI tonight, mostly cloudy with lows in the 50s. It's 73 degrees in La Palma, 72 in Orange. We're going to a stall on the 101 in downtown LA.
So this one is along the 101 northbound just before Cesar Chavez, stuck in center lanes. The stall's keeping you on the brakes away from Whittier Boulevard. Also, let's head out to Rolling Heights. Fire reported along the 60 eastbound Fairway Drive. Now, partially blocking that on-ramp, and it's probably serving up a bunch of smoke as well. So heads up on that 60 eastbound. We're looking at overall slowing right now. It looks like pockets slowing off of the 605 as you travel ahead towards the 57 freeway, and the 57 in Brea crowding up from Imperial Highway to the 60. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Just call Sweet James at 1-800-9-million. Just call Sweet James, your accident attorney.
Sweet James Accident Attorneys. Office in Los Angeles, California, and sweetjames.com.
You need to lose 50 pounds or more. You've tried dieting, you've tried injections, but nothing has worked. This is not failure. You just need the right plan. Weight loss is complex. It can be affected by stress, depression, or genetics, and that means you deserve real medical support. At West Medical, your path forward is guided and built around you. Take control of your health with a free consultation to start feeling incredible. 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL. That's 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Therapy Thursday is now a podcast. Listen to me, Ellen Kay, Ryan Mano, and therapist Sarah Dash on the iHeart app or wherever you get your podcasts. Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
Call 844-GO-SMILE to learn about the new Lifestyle Smile dental implants from Lasting Smiles.
Have a termite problem? You must act fast. Call Ecola at 1-800-332-BUGS.
Attention, were you a patient of OBGYN Dr. Barry J. Brock at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center? Hundreds of women have sued alleging sexual abuse, and Brock is now forbidden from practicing medicine. Attorneys Jennifer McGrath and Darren Kavanoki are here for you. They recently won over $375 million for UCLA gynecology abuse victims. You'll only speak to a woman when you call. Call 310-322-4444. Call or visit OBGYNabuse.com. That's 310-322-4444. 310-322-4444.
Racing is in full swing at Santa Anita Park's Hollywood Meet every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Experience racing excitement with Tacos y Cerveza Trackside, the biggest derby party west of Kentucky, Mother's Day at the races, and Memorial Weekend Carnival. Weekend admission, parking in the program is just $10. Every Friday, enjoy free admission and parking, plus all day 50% off happy hour. With millions in payouts every race day, explore new experiences at the Great Race Place by visiting santaanita.com/events, and we'll see you at the races.
KFI.
It's fun, but also factual.
The information, the way they give it, the format, it's all really good.
KFI is the most honest. The other stations, they do a lot of political correct nonsense.
You guys rock.
It's everyday consistency, current news.
I love KFI because they tell it like it is.
They take shots at everyone.
Oh, you like listening to boring stuff? No, listen to KFI 640. I love KFI. I love listening to them.
KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We're on every day from 3 to 6 and after 6 o'clock. John Kobylt Show on demand. on the iHeart app. All right. Where can you find us? Well, first of all, you could be on the air on Friday. You could be part of this on the Moist line, 877-MOIST-86, 877-MOIST-86, or use the talkback feature on the iHeart Radio app. Our podcast will be ready after 6 o'clock, and you can listen to whatever you missed today from the radio show. And we're live on YouTube. And you can subscribe, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. There's a live chat feature, so you could talk to other listeners, really around the whole country, around the world. And occasionally we read some messages on the air. And you could watch us on video, listen to us on audio. So we got you covered. This, I promise you, will really get you livid. You know, we just got off, more livid even than the last segment. We just got off the phone with the president of the union for the firefighters here in Los Angeles, because the firefighters desperately need money, and Karen Bass and the city council will not give it to them. And everything that you found out about the fire department back in January is still true. It's gotten worse, in fact. She's cut more money from the budget. They have fewer firefighters, 42 fewer. The engines are all still broken. There's still not enough mechanics. There's still not enough parts. The whole thing is a disaster. And we probably have less than 50% of a fire department now. And the thing, the debate last week with Pratt and Bass and Rahman on Channel 4, why didn't Colleen Williams and Conan Nolan ask about this? How do you keep the fire department funded at only 50% and you're actually cutting firefighters? How come this doesn't come up? You have the candidates and Bass captive. I mean, what? That it's so bad the firefighters have to beg for money? I'd love to hear how if the candidates vote for this on the ballot in November. But no, can't get that. Here's something else you're not going to you never saw asked during the state debates for governor. You are not going to believe this. Christopher Rufo and Haley Strack wrote this for the City Journal. In California, Gavin Newsom approved a $189 million contract. Now, I want that number to sink in. $189 million to provide new digital tablets, like an iPad. Every inmate in the prison system got a digital tablet. The prisoners didn't have to pay a dime. Now, the old tablets were given out in 2018. By 2023, all the prisoners had a new one. It was a step towards digital equity. No idea what that means. For justice-impacted individuals. They were expected to contact their family, watch educational content, and learn technology. That was the proposal, $189 million. What do you think happened? The City Journal did an investigation. They actually talked to dozens of death row inmates. Really, what do you think happened? They all got a free tablet. The prisoners in the state system use their tablets to watch pornography and have explicit sexual conversations. Some prisoners, according to one former corrections official, use their tablets to groom teenagers for sex. When reached for comment, the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation claimed that the tablets were tightly controlled education tools that provided the inmates with access to the Bible, education, and reentry resources that actually reduce crime. That's what they said. But they talked to the inmates, Christopher Rufo and Haley Strack. The devices, they write, had become personal sex machines. One inmate said that the death row is filled with desperately horny criminals who see the tablets as a way to satisfy all their fantasies and desires. And you're paying for this. You're paying for this too. You know, you're paying for the crack pipes and the meth pipes and the syringes in MacArthur Park. You're also paying for the prisoners to pleasure themselves by watching porn on their tablets. They talked to one guy who's on death row. He's a rapist and serial murderer. His name is Robert Morey. Now, he didn't mind talking because what are they going to do to him? Kill him? In fact, he was known as the tipster killer because he'd call in anonymous tips identifying the locations of the dead bodies that he had murdered. He killed one woman by strangling her with a nylon clothesline, strangled and killed two other women, and then brutally raped a fourth before he was finally caught. Now he's living in Stockton, California in a state prison, and he spends his days watching pornography on his taxpayer-paid digital tablet. Robert Morey, M-A-U-R-Y. He said inmates can receive nude pictures and watch pornography through their devices. He said he had a topless photo from a 22-year-old German psychology student who was hoping that I would share his story with her for her class project. After the student sent the photo, he started topless photo. He flirted her for a while with her. They also watch porno through a video chat application. An inmate can call someone on the outside, and that person can put porn on their TV. So you call your buddy, and he positions his device on the TV, puts porn on the screen, and the inmate can watch that screen transmitted through his tablet. Samuel Amador is another serial killer sentenced to death. He says inmates watch pornographic videos and have sexually explicit conversations through their tablets. The videos are delivered in 30-second clips. He says he has a rotation on his tablet between the porn and other content. I watch porn and short clips of my family at the beach. They kind of go back and forth. Jamar Tucker, another death row inmate at high. Well, he murdered somebody. He's killed 3 people, actually. He said the system's full of loopholes. Here's a case. Nathaniel Ray Diaz, convicted of committing sex crimes against a 12-year-old, used his tablet that you paid for to contact and exploit the 12-year-old from inside the prison. Even after he was sent to prison for the sex crimes against her, he stayed in touch with her and committed more crimes. Told the girl to send him sexually explicit images, which he received. The girl told investigators Diaz forced to speak with him through the tablet for hours every day, from the time she came home from school until the prison phones turned off. I don't know how that works. Clearly, she doesn't have parents who are functioning. Diaz made thousands of calls to the girl, violating a no-contact order. One former official said, I would bet my pension there was a vast amount of child pornography on the tablets. Well, what did that guy do when he was working in the prison system? Yeah, he bet his pension. Well, he racked up his big fat pension knowing this was going on and doing nothing to stop it. But hey, you want to pay for this, you keep voting the way you're voting. Just another plank in Newsom's platform running for president, that he provided a free child pornography distribution system to all the inmates on death row. How's that for a catchy commercial for Gavin Newsom? More coming up. In for Deborah Mark, we have Brigida D'Agostino live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here's the latest. President Trump's visit to China is underway. ICE will not help with security at LA's upcoming FIFA World Cup matches. And Corey Richins, the woman convicted of killing her husband in Utah and then writing a kid's book about grief, has been sentenced. We'll check the 101 freeway next.
GiveMeTheVin.com wants to buy your car, whether it's your daily driver, pickup truck, SUV, minivan, supercar. If GiveMeTheVin.com doesn't beat a deal from CarMax or Carvana, they'll pay you $100. You go to GiveMeTheVin.com and enter your car's VIN or license plate number. You'll get an offer back in minutes. Go to one of their pickup locations, or they'll come to you. That offer is well above any dealer quote. GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Southland weather from KFI by Mattress Firm. Tonight, mostly cloudy with lows in the 50s. We're going to some slowing in Calabasas on the 101.
This is the southbound side, and that's where traffic becomes a bit heavy, leaving Las Virgenes. You're on the brakes and stretches all the way into downtown Los Angeles. Now, the 134 westbound, that's where traffic slows down right around Buena Vista, getting out of Burbank, heading back to the 170, 101. And that 101 northbound loads up out of Hollywood from about Santa Monica Boulevard. Delays continue ahead to White Oak in Encino. It's tough in Santa Clarita, 14 northbound, leaving the 5, looking a lot better once you make your way past Placerita Canyon Road. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Silver is no longer just a commodity. It's a strategic resource. Global demand is hitting record highs while supply remains tight. Call Lear Capital at 800-225-8100 for a free silver report. Lear Capital, 800-225-8100.
Ready to upgrade to the perfect sleep setup? Let Mattress Firm's sleep experts guide you to the perfect bed at the Memorial Day sale. Top brands, ideal comfort, score unbeatable deals on both. Mattress Firm. They make sleep easy.
This report is sponsored by Think It Up. Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Hey, it's Neil Saavedra. The Fork Report has teamed up again with Wild Fork Foods and Big Green Egg for an Easter and summer kickoff you just don't want to miss. I'll also announce my Wild Fork pick of the week. This week, 90% lean organic ground beef for only $7.50. And great meats deserve great grills. Fire up your Wild Fork finds on a Big Green Egg for bold, live fire flavor. Find a Wild Fork near you at wildfork.com and visit biggreenegg.com for a dealer near you. Experience the difference.
Are you ready to sell your house now but want to skip the stress of a traditional listing? Wedgwood Homes offers a cash offer solution. Close in as little as 3 days or on your timeline.
The thought of having people coming in daily to walk through and view the house just sounded like a nightmare.
Brad called Wedgwood Homes.
I found Wedgwood Homes to be one of the top-rated companies around.
Wedgwood Homes buys homes as is for cash with no fees, no commissions, no repairs.
Considering all the benefits of not having to show the home along with not having to do repairs, the offer was more than fair.
Wedgwood Homes offers are firm, no strings, no multiple showings, no last-minute changes or canceled contracts, unlike other cash buyers.
The process with Wedgwood Homes was everything that I hoped it would be.
Selling as is, relocating, inherited a home, or just financially stressed? Make your next move with Wedgwood Homes. Call now for a no-obligation all-cash offer. 800-307-2010. Southern California's trusted home buyer for over 40 years. 800-307-2010. 800-307-2010 or wedgwoodhomes.com.
Imagine a scenario where you or your loved one faces a threat. Your first instinct might be to use lethal force, but it's crucial to consider a less lethal alternative first to avoid the legal complications. Introducing Byrna. Byrna's less lethal launcher. This device is equipped with chemical irritants and kinetic rounds, designed to incapacitate an attacker for up to 40 minutes, providing a critical window for you to escape. Here's a real-life account from a Byrna customer named Adam. While heading to his night shift, Adam encountered a road-raging driver who swerved dangerously, stopped abruptly, and aggressively approached him. Adam dialed 911 and protected himself with his Byrna launcher. He aimed the laser at the aggressor's chest, which immediately de-escalated the situation. The driver returned to his vehicle and awaited the police. That night, Byrna saved 2 lives. Byrna is legal in all 50 states, requires no background checks, and can be conveniently shipped directly to your door. Over 750,000 units sold. Visit Byrna.com. That's BYRNA.com.
My friends, the yard care industry sold us toxic chemicals and called it green.
clean. It's time for Sunday. No harsh chemicals, just real ingredients so your yard can thrive. Get your custom Sunday yard plan for spring at getsunday.com.
How many times has your car been in the shop? 2, 3? That could qualify you for a full refund, replacement vehicle, or cash compensation. You pay nothing. It takes just 2 minutes. RefundYourLemon.com. That's RefundYourLemon.com.
You know what your customers are doing right this second? The exact same thing you are, listening to me. Which, let's be honest, is kind of flattering. But my point is, ads on iHeartRadio actually get heard. In the car, at the gym, on the couch, while people are walking their dogs. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? You're a good boy. That's right. You're a good boy. So why not make the next ad about you? Get started today. Call 844-844-iHeart or go to iHeartAdvertising.com. That's 844-844-iHeart or iHeartAdvertising.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show.
We have 3 ways for you to appear smarter than you are, and one of them might not be to listen.
Yeah, we're going to need a lot more ways around here. Show starts tomorrow at 9.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio, John Kobylt Show. And right after 6 o'clock, the podcast, John Kobylt Show on Demand. So whatever you missed, you could catch up and listen there. The YouTube live stream is taking us till 6, and then we're going to post the whole thing recorded. And one more thing on the home front. My wife, Deborah Kobylt, has a podcast, Deborah Kobylt Live on YouTube, and I was the guest today. And we talked a lot about the mayor's race and the governor's race, so I'm on Deborah Kobylt Live on YouTube. You should watch that if you have a chance and a desire. All right, one more thing I wanted to get to. I don't want this ever to be forgotten. One of the things that drives me is the incessant lying, and then how so many people and news agencies fall into place when the government lies. And no greater example, as we know, than the COVID lockdowns and the way that was handled by Dr. Anthony Fauci, the massive denial that this was from the Wuhan lab in China, that it came from a virus they were experimenting with in the lab, and the United States helped fund the development of the virus, and Fauci knew everything about it and covered up the truth all this time. Listen today, James Erdman, a CIA whistleblower, testifying before a committee. Rand Paul set this up. Listen to this.
The IC consulted with Dr. Fauci's role in the cover-up was intentional. Dr. Fauci influenced the analytical process and findings by leveraging his position to ensure the IC consulted with a conflicted list of curated subject matter experts, public health officials, and scientists. This included some of the authors of the paper, The Proximal Origin of SARS-CoV-2, and other public health experts who have been in his orbit for the last 20 plus years. Some of the scientists were part of the Biological Sciences Experts Group, or the BSEG, an office of Director National Intelligence Advisory Body, whose members often receive considerable funding from NIAID and public health agencies. The BSEG scientists influenced national laboratory, WMD research, policy decisions, finished analysis, and other intelligence matters, creating misaligned incentives and conflicts of interest, as well as counterintelligence issues. Since 2006, the BSEG consulted part-time on biodefense issues for the IC, while conducting government-funded research and holding academia positions, as well as maintaining roles in public health institutions and serving as members in the National Academy of Science. They received funding from NIAID and other agencies for vaccine research, USAID's PREDICT project, the Cooperative Threat Reduction Program, and even worked with Chinese scientists on coronavirus and other pathogen studies pursuing vaccines. There was no oversight monitoring how this web of relationships influenced research, policy, and public health in any holistic way for over 20 years. In fact, several of the BSEG scientists helped Dr. Fauci rewrite definitions of gain of function in 2015 to lift a funding pause on dangerous research. Still others participated in planning Event 201 in 2019. This was a coronavirus pandemic tabletop exercise, curiously similar to the events that played out during the COVID-19 pandemic. And it was attended by Dr. Fauci and individuals with IC ties like former DNI Avril Haines.
Yeah. So Fauci was involved in the cover-up. He was involved in the funding of the virus. They had done exercises. What happens if the virus gets loose? This was not a surprise to them. It's what they expected all along. And that's why the government tried so desperately to shut down public discussion. If you remember what they were doing on the intranet, people were vilified, people were shamed. What is really awful is how many media people, late night talk show hosts, how many members of the public turned Fauci into a saint. I remember seeing Anthony Fauci religious candles with his like drawings on the side of frosted candles with his a sketch of his face, like he was some kind of religious leader. He funded the virus development. He knew immediately what happened. And then he covered it up and lied about it. Oh, and curiously, a few days ago, the statute of limitations ran out on whatever crimes he could be charged with. And now they have the hearing. All right, we're done. We got Conway coming up next. And we'll be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Michael Crozier has the news live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI.